Greetings, students. Welcome to the School of Magical Arts. This is session 2. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Today, as you guys may notice, we have a new player jumping in for this session and as many sessions as we can keep him around. So we've got Greg, and appreciate you joining us for this. Sarah, our Minos Leaf Hunter character, she got a new job and she's having some scheduling issues with that, so if she can join us in the future, she is definitely welcome, and we'd love to have her back. But for now, this way we have a party of 4 players joining us for this second session. We're going to be picking back up from the school. Has already been in session for probably about a week or so. All the students have kind of gotten to know each other a little bit better, so they would have probably met Greg's character and gotten to know each other better, gotten settled in a little bit better, and learned the basics of their spellcraft. So they've learned their cantrips fully, they've learned their first level spells fully, and they're kind of getting that dialed in just fine. Let's go ahead and everyone introduce themselves, just who you are, who you're going to be playing today. If you need to plug or like to plug anything, please feel free. We're all friends here and love to check out our fellow geeks doing their things. So I'm gonna go by just how I have it on the stream squares here, starting with Mason. Why don't you say hello?
I'm Mason, and I'm playing Gollum, the Warforged Artificer.
All right. Next, we have Firefly Retro.
Hi, I'm Firefly Retro, and this is Wolverax. He is a dragonborn sorcerer. I am a Twitch streamer. I do a lot of geeky coding kind of stuff every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if that's your sort of thing, if you want to watch my slow descent into madness, feel free to join me at Firefly Retro on Twitch TV.
Yeah, it's a cool little stream. Like I don't even know what I'm doing with coding. It's been a long time since I've coded anything, but I jumped in the other day and it was cool to see you coding and seeing you interacting with your audience. It's definitely awesome.
Thanks very much.
Next, I've got Greg down there.
I'm Greg. I'm playing Rylan Littlefoot, a Warlock Lightfoot halfling. Yeah, my first time playing D&D, so I'm pretty hyped.
Very excited to have a newcomer to the games, and we'll be kind and gentle, don't worry. Last but not least, my partner in crime over there, the other half of the XP Guild, David.
Hey, I'm David L. Weaver. I am playing Evan Carby Boreal, kind of a mad, crazy wizard of sorts. He's kind of all over the place, but fun to be around if you can understand him. But yeah, I am the other half of the XP Guild, as Bill said, and yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
All right. So if you guys do enjoy this game, a couple of things. Check us out on our YouTube. We have the edited version of these episodes going live, preferably before the next game. The last one came out Tuesday evening, my time. Probably Wednesday morning for a couple of my players here. That was adventure and just everything not working the way I wanted it to. But it's up and it's running, and I'd like to try to keep these like the on-demand video or whatever you want to call it on YouTube edited a little bit, just for cutting out gaps and major pauses due to either technical difficulties or breaks or whatever. That way it flows. So check us out over there, like, subscribe, follow us here on Twitch if you're in the chat. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Welcome back. Now, we jump in today. Our students, as I had said earlier, have all been at the school for about a week now. Let's go ahead and say it's start of the second week. You got a little bit of time to practice, a little time to get to know the area, perhaps explore the city a little bit if they wanted to. And as we look at that city, it is the city of Umberhaven, which is a large, sprawling city that grew in this port kind of location where the valuable trades from the mountain flows down the river and through the train system that runs into it. A bustling port city that has been able to maintain its freedom due to kind of its importance and its ability to kind of manipulate the political system around. However, it is kind of industrialized. It is a busy, growing city that obviously doesn't care too much about their personal air quality. And you see this kind of cloud of what we know now as pollution kind of like hovers around the city, keeping it in this kind of like dim, gray, dreary location. However, as we swing into the school, the clouds seem to part as you enter the personal space of the school itself. And even though anyone who was flying over by airship would only see clouds, here inside you are able to see the bright sunny sky above. A gentle breeze kind of flows through the school grounds as you all gather together in one of the School of Arcanum rooms there for your assigned lessons today. And you see up front standing a kind of reddish-skinned hobgoblin named Greelock that Evan definitely met as he came out of his kind of choosing room, as they mentioned that he would be studying to become a mage and gifted his book and everything. The gruff kind of wizard will stand there he's got like a green shirt on underneath studded leather armor. A long sword still sits at his hip and a book strapped onto his other hip. And he waits as the last few students slowly make their way in. And he'll look over the group. Well, welcome everyone. Glad you all made it. Now, we're gonna move. We're going to the stadium. And he just starts walking out the room and is gonna start to assume that everyone follows him as he makes his way through the school. Takes the paths up to the large stadium nearby that they use for various things. You guys were there practicing some of your cantrips and spells on zombies previously, and he will wait again for a little bit until everyone gets situated, and he'll look around at the group. All right, today's lesson, we plan on doing a group test, a test of how you could perform and utilize your abilities and your brain in a real-world sort of setting. I'd like you all to break up into groups, most of you by houses, and I'll look around and say, oh, yes, the little Minotaur, and he kind of address the three of you who have kind of housemates. And you notice that Minos more and more had been spending time away from the house, and recently it seems like her time in the room has kind of dwindled down, and he'll look over to you guys. The little Minotaur was having some difficulties fully grasping her powers and coming to grips with her new environment. We're working with her, but for the time being, she is going to be stepping back from the public classes. She'll have some more tutoring, and she needs to get full handle of what she can do before we want her in these sort of settings. We'll look around, and we'll point at a halfling fellow. You boy, why don't you jump in And he'll kind of look over at Greg's character.
Just sort of dejected if you walk over.
Yes, I'm going to be splitting up your house at the moment anyways. There's a few other groups that could use one or two other students to aid them. So what do they see as they see Rylan Littlefoot?
They see a quite a short halfling, about 3 feet in height. Quite scruffy brown hair with long, bushy like mutton chops. And they also see one very deep. The main thing you notice is one very deep purple eye, and also one sort of coppery coloured eye. Yeah, and quite pale skin.
Immediately, you hear Evan pop off and say, "Awesome! You're a halfling."
I just sigh.
Greelock will lean over and point at Evan. And you're a sheep! And you turn into a sheep. All right. Sorry, I find that kind of rude at times, so perhaps I'll learn a lesson as a sheep. Everyone, any questions, any needs, any clarification?
So, what are we supposed to be doing here today?
Yes, and he'll point off to the side, and you'll see a group of individuals, combination. There's a half-orc, there's a minotaur. In fact, there's even like a giant that's kind of helping push in this large stone pillar-looking thing. Oh, yes, not a sheep now. And he'll wave a hand and dispel his spell.
Do I remember being a sheep?
Yeah. Yeah. You retain all your mental abilities and all your, all of that, but physically you were a sheep.
I strangely wanted to eat grass. That was awesome. Can I learn that, teacher?
Eventually you can learn such things. It may be beyond your mental capacity at this point.
I kind of tilt my head in a questionable and look at Gollum. I don't know what he's talking about.
Gollum's trying not to laugh.
All right. So, as they kind of push this large stone-like facade in front of you, and it's like this oval base on it, and there's two pillars that kind of go up, and there are runes inscribed upon the sides of the pillars, and then across the top there's like this archway that's got two arms kind of clasped together over the top of it. So we have set up a little test, a chance for you to go and experience what other spellcrafts may end up doing out in the real world. There's plenty of dangers and plenty of things that can face those of magical powers, and oftentimes the locals will look to you for help, or hire you if that is your thing. And in fact, we'll be opening up options for first-year students to hire out their services here in the near future. There will be a board with locals requests that you may check out from time to time if you desire to earn some extra coin and practice your abilities. We do try to encourage such things as long as you are choosing ones that are within your capabilities, as it is a good way to practice. Occasionally there are pests that bother, there are issues to clear depending on your capabilities. Those will be on board here soon for you. But today, I'd like you to experience kind of a test of your wits, of your martial prowess, or whatever it is you have to offer. Are we ready? And I'll look around and see as groups have kind of clustered into their little 4-man kind of groups. Very nice. And he'll turn towards the pillars, and you see a wave of blue energy shoot from his hands, and spark against the pillars, and a circular opening starts to appear. This blue glow around on the inside of this pillar, kind of like hovering just off the base of it. And it is a tall oval that goes about 7 feet up and about 4 feet wide or so within the confines of this like stone structure. And who will be first? Oh yes.
Might as well.
Our eager
Seems to have been volunteered.
Fair enough. Step on in.
Do so.
So you step through and you feel this kind of like pulling sensation, almost like something is yanking at your like shirt, but it's like feels through your body, like that kind of like jolted forward sort of sensation as you step through. And then you feel like this rushing as you step in, and there's like musty air, and there's like a wood slatted floor as you step through. And you feel like this rushing from behind you as your body's almost like catching up to you as you fully emerge from this space and find yourself within a small circular, kind of like oval almost room. And you see another pillar at the end of, similar to the one you walk through. So there's one behind you as you step through, and then there's one in front of you as you step through. Let me bring up for the stream our Owlbear Rodeo situation. Also, before I go too far, now that we are seeing character art and we saw it in the intro video, the character art, we used HeroForge. We are not sponsored by HeroForge. We're not affiliated with HeroForge. Let's see, I have the exact words. And the show has not been reviewed by them. We don't represent the views of HeroForge, which is a Sky Castle Studios LLC product. Right, there we go. Legal out of the way. Evan steps through. How eagerly do you guys follow?
I'd be right behind him.
How far off the ground are we talking is this pool? Because I'm only 3 feet tall.
Yeah, so there's like steps that go up to the top of this area, and then there's this whole oval that's open, and it's only about 3 inches off of the top step of this like structure.
I guess I'll follow him in then.
All right.
Yeah, Wolverax would be dead last as always, and as he passes through, he'd sort of duck down a little bit because he's quite close to the 7 feet limit.
Yeah.
Probably just a bit over 6 feet. So yeah, he's probably ducking down and making sure that if anything bad comes out of it, it's he's the last to experience it.
All right. Perfect. Yeah.
So as we entered, I kind of lean over to Golem. What did I volunteer us for?
Death.
Okay.
And I just say that with the straightest face ever.
Wouldn't be the first time to get out of a interesting situation.
Just remember to stay behind me if there's things trying to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. And as that, Evan kind of takes a step back behind Golem.
All right. So you guys find yourself in this room, and it is like kind of like an oval room, like I mentioned, and in front of you is a pillar with another gleaming globe inside. Behind you is the pillar, and as Wolverax steps through, that oval sinks and disappears. So now it's just a stone archway, and the light that was emanating from it disappears. And you find the room quite a bit darker, as the only source of light seems to be coming from the blue glow in the archway in front of you. If you guys look around upon the side wall, you see like a fresco or paintings upon the wall that is clearly a depiction of a group of individuals holding up 3 items and kind of like kneeling and holding it out towards a large like figure that is glowing and kind of has the look of some sort of deity. They have a sword, a lute, and a rod, and all 4 figures are kind of like kneeling down, and 3 of them are holding up these items towards this creature.
Evan would immediately loosen his hands up, smack them, and start rubbing them really quickly together. And by doing that, he casts the light spell as his finger lights up. See? Learn something new.
Nice. And the room gets a little bit brighter as from Evan emanates this kind of glow. What is Evan's light? What color is it? What?
It's almost like a bluish light like this right here. A bluish white. Almost like, blue flame.
Nice. So you guys find yourself in this room. What do you want to do?
There's nothing else besides that, like, picture, right?
Yeah, correct. So the walls have this picture upon them, and then there's in front of you another portal, like the one you stepped through, that's glowing and emanating that light. But other than that, you don't seem to see anything.
Can I roll a religion check on what I think is a deity?
Sure.
It's a 23.
Okay. So you kind of search your brain for the deity itself, and it has elements of probably a few deities kind of worked into it. The top of which would probably be like a deity of magic, is what it like mostly resembles, but there's other elements in there, and it seems kind of like it was a hodgepodge of several deities, or perhaps just inspired by deities, as almost like a these are there to kind of give you the idea that it's a deity versus necessarily needing to be a specific deity.
What species are the 4 characters making the offerings?
So as you look at them closer, and perhaps when you first glance it was kind of hard to tell, but you're kind of glancing closer, and it seems to be a human with black and white hair, a warforged, a halfling with dark hair, and a black-skinned dragonborn.
Thank you. So, upon noticing the black dragonborn, Wolfrack says, "Well, this is unsettling."
Hey, it's you, but not you.
I sincerely doubt it is me.
Which item does the Warforged have?
The Warforged is holding up a rod.
Okay.
What does the human look like?
Seems very much like you.
Hey, it's me. I look pretty good. I kind of stand there.
It's definitely not you.
It's very much like me.
What if we have to make an offering like the picture does?
So, what does the picture say?
Well, that's based on a god of magic. At least the deity is. So maybe we need to offer magic. Of some sort.
Okay.
We are in a magic school.
Yeah.
So at the moment, you guys do see that there's a portal in front of you that is glowing and seems to be open. But at the moment, the room seems to be empty other than that painting.
Okay. I'm going to go walk up to the portal and cast Identify on it.
Okay. You know it's from the School of Conjuration. You know that this is a kind of like a teleportation portal that takes you only to a specific location. Like they are linked portals. And it's designed to take you to a location and then not to take you back. Sort of a thing. Like it's a one-way portal.
And did you say the other portal closed itself behind us?
Yes. So the one you came through shut down. All the light dissipated from it when you came through, and the other one was already glowing. Like as at least by the time you stepped in, but even Evan, who came in first, would have noticed that that light kind of had already was in place upon arrival.
Would turn to everyone and say, well, this portal is definitely a one-way.
Kind of wonder what happens if we just stick a hand into the portal.
Feel free
Probably
to
not
try
a
it.
good idea.
I mean, I'm not going to try it, but
I've done
I
that
think Wolfrex
before.
gives Evan a nudge.
Yeah, no. I've done that before. It's not good. Okay, I'm gonna try something. I go over to the statue that looks like me, and it's holding what now?
So it's a painting upon the wall.
Oh, it's a painting. Okay.
Yeah, and yours is holding a lute.
Loot. Maybe I look at it inquisitively and touch the painting.
Okay. It feels like a painting. It's a wall. You don't get much. Like
I mean,
there's
I
a little
suppose
bit
that
of,
about what I'm. I guess I should. I'm touching it with the magic light finger.
Oh, with your light finger. Okay.
Yes.
It is brighter in that section as you put your hand up to the wall, but it is a painting, and it does not seem to have any magical properties.
I
Okay.
think Wolverax walks forward towards the painting and has a look at the other characters. Who is holding the sword?
Your character is actually
My character
seems to be, or the black dragonborn character in the painting is holding a sword.
Okay.
this painting in like pristine condition, or is it sort of like worn a bit?
It has the look that it's kind of aged, but you know, the colors that are there, it almost. Let's see. Give me a history check, or a performance check if you have any skill in that.
History. That's a 13.
Okay. So you've seen people make artwork, like with the desire to make it look like it's a little bit older. And this kind of has that feel to it.
So what is the other characters holding? There was a rod, a sword.
There's a rod, a lute, and a sword, and the halfling's the only one that isn't currently holding anything in the picture.
And what is the halfling holding?
Nothing. The halfling's just kind of standing along, like kind of kneeling before this figure with his hands up.
Oh, okay. So I go to the rod one
Okay. Which would be the Warforged.
and touch my lighted finger to him.
Okay. It gets brighter in that section and lights up. There isn't necessarily a puzzle here. It's just a painting, and there's a portal for you guys to step through. Just so, you know, we don't go 40 minutes with us testing the painting.
I think at this point I go over to Evan and say, I think the definition of madness is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different result.
Well, once I figured out that the portal's, well, conjuration magic and it's one way, I'm walking through.
Okay.
I'm not even going to
Follow
say to anyone else. I'm just going through.
Yeah.
If
I
I pay
think that
attention.
seems like the thing to do. I think Wolverax starts to walk towards the portal, but hangs back to see what everybody else does.
Evan eventually figures out that Golem went through him. It's like, oh yeah, he was supposed to go first anyway. He told me not to do it like last time. So, okay. And I
All right. So you
quickly follow.
step through and poof, disappear. and the room gets dimmer as Evan steps through now that he is no longer producing light. But
Gonna
there's
follow
still
him
enough-
through as well.
Yeah, there's still enough light to kind of see by the portal.
Yeah, Wolverat's being the last one in here, walks through.
And you step through.
Ooh, fancy.
Okay.
So you guys step through into a room, and again the portal behind you kind of like blinks out of existence once you are all through. Around you are 8 pillars, 4 kind of lining one wall, 4 going along another wall, all of them giving off a kind of faint, kind of greenish glow to them. There is a kind of, you find yourself in more of like a cavern and more of a cave. The walls kind of rocky and jutted out and not like smooth or like uniform. They definitely looks like this was carved out of a mountain of some sort. You can see faintly at the end of the room, the walls come to kind of an end point on 2 sides, and then there seems to be an opening, and it is just dark out there, and it's hard to see much past that from where you guys are, especially with the bright light within the room itself from all these pillars.
Did it say it was dark in here?
Yeah, so the room itself. Sorry, I was looking something up. The room itself is only lit by these pillars that are kind of glowing, and they're floor to ceiling kind of Greek sort of esque pillars where they're like carved in with these like kind of like ridged sides to them, and the whole thing though seems to be emanating this kind of like greenish light to it.
Okay. So, what kind of room would you say this is? Does this look like is it like a cave? Is it,
Yes.
is it a room? It's a cave.
Yeah, it seems like a cave. Like the walls are rocky, and it seems like you can see like bits of like dirt and dust that have formed like at the edges of the walls where maybe like rocks have fallen or gotten chipped away over time. The ground itself isn't perfectly even. It's rocky with like a thin layer of like dust or dirt upon it. There's even a spot like in part of the room where like it seems like the cavern, like there was a exceptionally hard piece of rock there that didn't erode away like most of the rest of this area, leaving like one pillar of stone that's kind of in the midst of the room amongst these other very unnatural pillars. Obviously they're glowing, but also the stonework in these pillars are not of the same stone of which everything else is. And then you see at the end of the room, and I'll kind of use the pointer here, down here, it seems like there's a ledge here. Like this is a ledge right here. The walls come to an end, and then it just seems like it's dark past that. Like obviously there's a drop off at the end of this kind of stretch, and it's tough to see too much from there.
Okay.
In the sorry, go on.
I was just clarifying this section down here. You said that drops down into sort of like an abyss type thing.
Yeah, so it comes to like a lip and then drops down. Are you going to go over and examine from there?
I think yes, I will. I also have dark vision.
Okay.
I'd like to see if I can see the bottom.
All right. So you walk up to the edge of this this kind of precipice thing, yeah. And then you look down, and it seems like it goes a long distance down. Like you can't see the bottom from where you are, given even your dark vision. But you can see that there is a ceiling, and it almost like this area, there's almost like a dome sort of area where it's still natural rock. So there's like stalactite stalactites coming out of the roof in this area here, and you can kind of even see like water droplets coming off one or two of them and falling, but like you can't even hear the water droplet ping when you get there. Now,
is there any like loose rocks around? Toss a loose rock off that ledge.
Yeah, definitely.
See if we can hear anything at the bottom.
While they're doing that, I'm going to look to Evan and say, "Can you make my crossbow bolt glow like your finger does?"
Yep, sure can. As I do that, I reach over and touch one of the pillars.
All right. So you touch one of the pillars, and you...
That's closest to me.
Rise off the ground about 2 feet.
Whoa! Okay, this is cool.
Once he's made my crossbow bolt light up, I'm going to walk to the edge, and I'm going to aim at... Can I see the other edge?
What is your dark vision?
I don't have dark vision.
Okay. No. For you can't. If Wolverax would describe, you can see at the other edge of this kind of opening, which is about 30 or so feet away. You can see another ledge, similar to the one that you're standing on now, that borders this like dark cavern area.
Then I'm going to shoot that bolt that's split. If she tells me an approximate distance, I'm going to shoot where she said the other ledges. Or he said, sorry.
Yeah. Wolverax would estimate about 20 feet edge to edge.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So it'd be like, you probably, because it is dark and there's no source of light, it would be just out of your range of view. Yeah. But yeah, if Wolverax kind of gives you a general pointing and direction, yeah, you're able to shoot. Give me just like a ranged crossbow attack just to see, whether you make it.
19.
Okay. Yeah, so 19 will definitely suffice, and your arrow makes it into the room and kind of probably shatters across one of these back walls here, but then now there's like little bits of light glowing from this other side, and it helps you see better the edge, the lip of this kind of cavern room. And from there, with the illumination there, you can also spot there seems to be a like kind of a pillar or like a plinth sort of thing that raises up about 3 feet off the ground. Within
How sturdy does that look?
It looks fairly sturdy. I mean, it's a big, solid piece of stone, as far as you can tell from here.
While Evan is hovering, he releases his hand from the pillar.
Okay. And you're still floating about 2 feet off the ground.
Look down over at Rylan. Hi, my name's Evan, by the way. Apparently, I'm 2 feet off of the ground.
Yeah, you're almost flying higher than I am tall.
What's your name?
I'm Rylan. Are you able to move whilst you're floating?
Oh, no, I want to test a theory.
Right.
So, if I don't move, could you push me?
I can give you a push, yeah.
Let me see if
I
I
give
can
him a
walk.
shove.
Well, okay.
And you go floating across, like there's no friction or anything holding you in place. So you float for a little while and then eventually kind of slow to a stop.
That was awesome.
While this is happening, I look to Wolverax and say, could you help me tie this rope to this rock mess?
Sure.
Hey, guys.
I got a rope.
To what?
Yeah, to what?
There's a rock outcropping right here, right?
Sure, yeah. You
Yeah,
can do that.
and I'm going to tie it to there, and I'm going to attach it to my crossbow bolt.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in the background, I'm just pushing Evan around.
Yeah. Woo! Hey, guys.
Is trying to make essentially a lifeline, just in case what they're trying doesn't work.
Okay.
So we still have a rope.
Now you see that this like pillar, it appears to be from your vantage point with the dim light on the other side, appears to be made out of stone.
I should be able to get a crossbow bolt to it, hopefully.
Okay.
Rylan, I have a thought.
Go on. I'm listening.
So I touched these pillars over here. What if you go over there and touch those other pillars?
Okay, I'll head over and touch the other pillars.
And
I put one hand on one pillar.
you now find yourself floating about 2 feet off the ground.
Okay, so now we're both floating.
That's awesome, though.
Did you leave Evan nearby a pillar, or is he just floating in the middle of the room?
I'd say he's probably just floating in the middle of the room. I didn't think that far ahead.
Okay, so Wolverax notices the antics going on behind him, and he says, "What the heck is going on over here?"
I don't know. That's why
I've been trying to say something. As I fall backwards.
Can I try and kick off the pillar and sort of float towards Evan in the middle of the room?
Of course. So
hey!
you kick off the pillar, and as you're floating away, you're also elevating
Okay.
about another 3 feet off the ground. So you're about 5 feet off the ground now.
I try to catch him.
Did you fall backwards, or?
Yeah. But I try to catch him nonetheless with my feet if I can.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're able to like kind of kick your feet up high enough in the air, and now you're both kind of stuck in the middle of the room, floating.
So could I possibly roll an Arcana check to figure out what's going on?
Sure. Most definitely can.
12 plus 5. 17?
Yeah, so with the 17, you've probably done some studies, learned a little bit about this, maybe even seen some of the older students using a spell that allows them to like levitate off the ground. And it seems that these pillars infuse some level of levitation to you.
I know what this is. This is levitate.
I'm gonna finish making a rope bridge just in case.
Okay, so Wolverax goes over to Evan and grabs him by the scruff of his neck and brings him over to the edge of the precipice.
Okay.
Assuming I can do that without his permission, because he was floating and there's nothing that he can do about it, I assume.
Yeah,
I'm on my back too. So
are you trying to fight off Wolverax at all?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if he was trying to fight, it would be like a posed grapple. But
That's fine.
yeah, since he's not going to fight you at all, it's pretty easy. You know, you're able to grab him and pull him over to the edge.
Okay. I'm going to do that for you. Is that all right? Cool. Yeah, that's cool. And then I guess Wolverax will... It's very tempted to push. Let's see. Will he do that? Will he do that? I think he would. I think he would give him a good hard shove across towards the other side.
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
Sorry if this goes wrong. Athletics. Oh dear. Oh dear. 10.
All right. So Wolverax gives you a good solid push, and you find yourself floating in about the middle of this.
As I'm flying through the air, I like, oh, this is awesome! Da-da-da! I'm a superhero! And as I fly through, do I feel I'm slowing down?
Yeah, as you go, like you start off pretty quickly, but then like you get about a quarter way through and a little bit way, and as you get to the middle, you're slow to a step.
as I'm slowing down, I immediately just kind of, I guess, in the moment of excitement and thrill, I recite an old phrase that my grandmother said, and when I do, I cast Misty Step.
Oh, cool. Nice. All right. Which direction?
Directly on the other side.
Oh, okay. I figured. Yes. All right. So you Misty Step over, and you find yourself on the other side. And as you step over, you just step over the 30 feet or whatever, and then you find yourself slowly lower to the ground on this side of the cabin.
Am I on the ground?
You're
Actually,
on the ground. Yep.
I jump up.
And
That was awesome, guys! And I immediately pull out the little firefly, squish it between my hands, rub it together, and cast a light spell on my finger again.
all right. And this room illuminates is a similar make as the one you guys just left. There's one pillar, like plinth sort of altar almost thing, that is about 3 feet off the ground, made out of stone, and has a sword resting atop it. Kind of a gold sword.
Hey guys, there's a pillar with a sword on it. I don't know if y'all can make it across. Golem's idea about the rope might be handy.
Well, you stopped moving halfway through. And as I say that, I'm actually going to take the shot on the pillar
Okay.
with my rope crossbow bolt.
Yeah, go ahead and make your attack roll with a disadvantage since you have a rope attached to the end of this.
That's a 15.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to make it. It shoots across with this 50-foot rope kind of attached to it, and it smashes against the pillar, and the arrow itself shatters as it hits the stone. And then the rope is there, and it starts to slowly sink back as the majority of the rope is kind of hanging in the cavern area.
Evan, tie that up, please.
Yep, I got it. I'll go grab it real quick.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And
you're able to run over.
Is there enough rope to go maybe tie it? Go check out the pillar, see if it's like stable.
It's
Yeah.
40 feet between the two pillars.
Yeah. So you have probably about 5 extra feet that you could wrap around this pillar, and it is a very solid stone pillar. You can do an investigation check if you want to see how much weight.
Yeah, just make sure. I mean, I don't think that they will expire if they touch the other pillars, but just in case.
Meanwhile, on the other side, there's a halfling floating about 5 feet off the ground, just like in the middle of the room.
I'm trying to swim so I can see around the corner to see what's going on.
I'm going to go walk towards the halfling and just reach my hand up to hold him so he doesn't fly higher.
I'm just trying to swim.
Yeah.
I rolled a 14.
Yeah, so it seems very solid, sturdy. It's seems to be solid stone, and as you kind of push against it, it doesn't seem to budge as you push on it. So it would.
I'm definitely tying the rope off to the pillar.
Perfect.
How much weight can it hold? Can it hold our character's weight?
These they're solid hemp ropes that are designed to carry massive loads. At least one character at a time.
I run back up to the edge with my lighted finger. Hey y'all! I tied it. It's secure. Y'all should go touch the pillars and float.
Yeah.
And then drag yourself across.
I whispered to Golem, do we trust that they're secure?
No, I'm more trusting the magic and the levitate.
Yeah, me too.
Just here, just in case.
So, okay. I think Wolverax has noticed a problem here.
At least someone did.
Who's going to be last?
Me.
How are you going to
I already got
move
that.
away from...
I'm not touching the pillar.
You can just...
Sorry?
Oh, yeah, good shout.
I already got an idea.
Okay. Care to elaborate?
Apparently not.
Are you going to tell us? Share this this plan of yours?
Well, I can mend rope. I'm going to use the rope as a swing after cutting the side. And mend it when I get to the other side and climb up.
Cool.
Meanwhile, I'm still floating, just up in the air.
and while they're all talking about that, I just I'm waiting there patiently, and then after that, I get bored and go over to where the sword's at and go investigate that.
Okay. Yeah, give me an investigation check.
That's a nice number. 18.
Okay. It is a finely crafted short sword. It is a nice. I mean, the steel looks pristine and perfect. Like there doesn't even look to be dust upon this sword. It has like a gold handle to it with like a red leather kind of wrapped around it, with like pieces of the leather like pushed into an area where like, so you can see like a gold spiral that goes from the hilt part down to the butt of the sword.
Pull out my little notebook and begin drawing it.
Cool. Yeah.
Wolverax notices Evan's interest in the sword and says, "Don't you dare touch that sword. I'm not going to trust you around sharp objects."
So, Wolverax, do you touch one of the pillars on this side of the room?
I think first he'd go over to the halfling and do the same trick, push him across to the other side. But this time, sort of making sure to keep it close to the rope, so he's like at least within arm's reach of the rope.
I'm going to curl up into a little ball.
Cannonball! Yeah, I'm going to. That's fine. Where's the rope?
Let's see. I think
it's roughly
do a
there.
penny here.
Okay, cool.
I think.
Basically,
Sorry, like that.
a straight line.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
That one, not the first one.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Close enough.
So yeah, he keeps him close there and does the push off trick again. Do you want another athletics check?
Yes, please.
This one is much better. A 17.
17. Perfect. Yeah, you shove our little halfling Rylan across, and he makes it about 3/4 of the way.
We're trying to do a graceful forward roll in the air.
He's kind of doing these slow loops in the air as you as he goes. And we'll say that the rope is high enough tied off that he's able to like reach down from his 5 feet elevation from the cave floor area and grab hold and drag himself across, assuming he wanted to.
Cool. So, yeah. Okay.
Rylan, as you cross that kind of lip and you get within the first kind of 5 feet of the floor, you start to slowly descend and find your feet resting upon the cave floor.
Wolverax moves over to the pillar and touches it.
All right. So you start floating about 2 feet off the ground.
I'll go grab Wolverax and give Wolverax a push.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
Yup.
Every mage's strong suit.
Right. That's an 11.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you push Wolverax out, and he makes it probably about halfway through the room. So not too bad. But you're
So yeah, he reaches out to the rope.
yeah, so you're tall enough and big enough, you're able to grab the rope and pull. And there's like, because you're levitating, it doesn't really take much, effort. Like, it's almost like just easy hand over hand. It's just a guide that helps you actually move. And then again, as you reach that kind of first 5 feet of the cave, you slowly descend.
I'm going to try it a different way first just to see if it works. If not, I'll swing.
Okay.
I'm going to untie the rope on this side or cut it, whichever. Doesn't matter to me.
You can untie it. That's fine. Yeah.
And then I'm going to walk over to the pillar and grab it and just try and pull myself across. If that doesn't work, I'm swinging.
Yeah, that should work. You should be able to get to this first pillar over here, I think, with your 50 feet of rope.
Yeah, it should be
about 45. You should be able to touch it here. And so you start floating your 2 feet, and you have this rope, and you're able to kind of pull. Now, you end up kind of pulling yourself across the inside of this like rock face, and you kind of hear it scrape against your like metallic body a little bit. And there's like a little bit of like a scratch there, but it doesn't really hurt. It's just kind of annoyance and inconvenience. And then you end up floating out over and pulling yourself across. And as you get to the other side, you slowly descend.
As I'm landing, I'm taking out the wet stone and just polishing up my arm using mending. I'm going, nope, I don't want rug burn.
Yeah, and you're able to kind of like slowly like clear up any of the issues that were on your armor.
Hey, y'all.
And then, do you retract the? Do you take the rope? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Cool. Well done.
In my rope.
Took another party I had like, I don't know, 2 hours to figure that one out.
Oh, jeez.
Well done.
I'm going to take a look at the sword, though, because Evan probably didn't tell me anything about it, and I'm actually trying to inspect its quality as a smith.
Yeah.
What would you like me to roll?
Give me a intelligence check with proficiency, whatever one you may have readied, because you are proficient with the tools and smithing and
So
such.
intelligence and efficiency, so that's going to be a +6.
Okay, cool.
That's a 26.
All right, yeah. It is a very nicely, finely crafted sword. You wouldn't be surprised if it had some sort of magical properties to it, but it seems like whoever crafted it was skilled craftsman, and everything down to the details of how the like leather handle is like worked in amongst the spiraling gold trim on it. You can tell that whoever did it had some skill.
How tall is this pedestal?
It comes to right about your like the top of it's right about your like forehead, sort of.
This school has some real accessibility issues.
Yes, well, you know.
I'll take the sword down to show everyone and explain the details of the craftsmanship to them.
Awesome.
I'd hate to see
We should take it.
the handicapped characters go across this opening, but you know, levitate would work on that too. So cool. Yeah, so you guys have the sword. Who's holding on to it?
Not me.
Definitely not me.
Yeah, I think I should. So Wolverax would say, well, the painting depicted a dragonborn.
Yeah, I know.
That it's me is
Oh! It is you!
so perhaps I can
Extremely
carry it.
upset about it as I handed it over.
Oh, that means I get a loot.
Wolverax takes the sword and stows it.
I do tell you not to damage it, though, because I want to examine it more later.
Was it a heart?
How do you stow this sword? It does not have a sheath or anything. It is like plain metal.
Good question. It probably wouldn't go in the backpack, will it? I think I'll just carry it.
Yeah, I mean, you could carry it. You could probably tie it. Like your backpack would have some loose straps, so you might be able to like, tie it, and it's got like they're leather, like sturdy straps. So as long as you're careful enough, it shouldn't cut anything. Or you could probably like shove it into your belt or whatever, just kind of like loosely. But you just would be careful because it is.
I think I'll hang on to it for now.
Okay.
Recognizing it's a decent quality sword. Yes, I'll hold it in my hand for now.
Awesome, perfect. So yeah, you're able to take this sword, and you guys now find yourself in this kind of cavern area. The path leads on in this kind of directional if we're using like a compass to the southwest of you. It looks like Golem is moving forward, so I'm going to go ahead and reveal that part. So as you step forward in this kind of cavern, I'm trying to keep it so that the feed gets to see things without seeing everything. You see ahead of you, there is a kind of a T-junction that comes, and you can see these spider webs that kind of like cover much of this area around the junction. Kind of spreading from floor to wall to ceiling kind of area. But then you can also see... actually, give me perception checks. Anyone who's kind of perceiving it. Here, let's see what we see.
Perception. Okay.
5.
5?
6.
Critical fail. It's a 2.
All right.
Yeah, critical fail for me.
I rolled a 12.
Okay.
We perceive.
Yeah, you don't really see anything much. It's just like there's these spider webs, and it seems to be pretty thick, so it's tough to see too much. But it does, you can see a little bit at the end that there seems to be a juncture that goes one off to the right and one off to the left as you're facing down this hallway.
Have we still got light at the moment?
Evan has his finger lit up.
Actually, I moved it to my staff.
Oh, okay.
That,
Hey,
yeah.
Dragon, you like fire, right?
Fire. Yeah.
Those things burn well. Pointing to the webs.
Okay. What's
And
your
I don't
point?
want to deal with spiders.
So Wolverox is going to be obtuse as obtuse as possible, and just like, yeah. So what? they burn. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What?
I mean, we could try and figure out what type of spider made that, or we could just burn them all.
That would be fascinating. I proceed to look at the webs and see. Not getting too close, but the pattern and whatnot.
They like without getting super close. I mean, they're thick, sturdy webs, thicker than what you would think like a standard spider might make. You don't seem to see anything caught in the webs or any issues there, but they kind of a mess of webs that kind of intertangle this whole kind of walkway. There's not a way to like kind of make your way through without touching the webs.
So since I don't think a spider made them, could I maybe make Arcana check to see what they are?
Sure.
16?
Looking at them, you actually don't think that they're magical at all.
Okay.
You're not sure what created them. But they're thicker than like a standard house spider sort of a thing would be.
We do also have that big sword. We could chop our way through.
So the options
Yeah,
are
they're
fire or sword.
we might not want to run into whatever made these. This is not a spider, by the way.
Not a house spider.
I think
Who wants to
Wolverox
go?
is tempted to burn them.
If you don't, okay, yeah.
Do whatever you guys want. Just let me know what you're doing.
Yeah. Should we take a vote?
I mean, I say we burn them.
Then
And where are
Burn them
we
and
located
get
as
ready.
far as everything too? I mean, how close are we standing? Are we
I'll
doing
stand
this
about
distance?
you.
well, I'll move further up. Actually, if we're going to burn it, but I'm actually out of the way. I'll move further up because I have the sword.
I'll move back since already studied.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So are we burning?
Yes.
Okay.
At least two people yes to burn. I don't know what happened.
What did you want, Evan?
Right now?
Evan was moving the hell away.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
go ahead and burn, but be warned, whatever might come out at us may not be a spider. They're definitely not magical, though, so that's good.
I'm gonna ready an action to shoot anything that comes near us. That's not us.
Yeah.
With my
Okay.
crossbow.
With your crossbow. Okay, that was my next question was,
Okay.
what are you shooting?
So Wolverax casts create bonfire under the webs.
Okay, and what's the like area effect of? I think it's a 5-foot area, but like, is it?
It is
just
a 5-foot area up to 60 foot away.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to. I can't really manipulate it from here, so you're able to. Let me see. Let's just do this. Let's get my
Just draw it.
color, and I'm just gonna paint things gray. So you start probably in this kind of square here, and slowly.
Just move
the
it
fire
along.
will
Burning it.
burn. So yeah, you're able to kind of burn away that area of
Okay.
the.
Does anything seem like it's making noise? Is anything coming our way as I do this?
Give me a perception check.
Perception check. Where there it is. I get a 7. I'm not doing very well on rolls today.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't seem to be. You don't hear any sounds, that's for sure.
Okay. I will. I'll move on to another square if that one's been fully cleared.
Yeah,
I'll move on
it
to
doesn't,
one just
doesn't
north of it.
take much for you. So if you just want to, which direction are you going with it?
North.
Okay, so that north one. Let me get back to. And you're able to kind of slowly. It burns away. I mean, it doesn't take long. As soon as the flames touch that section of the webbing, it kind of disintegrates, and like the ones along the wall there start to kind of like fall loose as the main center of it isn't really being held. The ones to the west of it is kind of like still has enough strands that are attached to it that it doesn't fully like fall away, but it's a little bit looser because the main middle part of this web has been kind of burnt away.
Is there any smoke, or can we see past it?
No, like if she lets the bonfire dissipate, because it's concentration, you can keep it there for up to a minute. But once you let it dissipate, the smoke that was there kind of disappears because it's all magical anyways, and it's pretty open. You can't, like, the area of the web that was burnt was singed away, and that smoke like vanishes almost instantly because there's not much to the web.
So we can see to this back wall.
Yeah, you can see through. You can see it looks like there's another tunnel that leads off to that northeast section. Of course, you wouldn't be able to see as far as the full room, but
I'd like to keep listening to see if there's anything that we've disturbed.
Okay. If you want to make another perception check, feel free.
Oh, 5.
Can't seem to hear anything. Don't.
I am daft today. Jeez.
Discern any movement.
Okay. Cool. I guess Wolverax would tentatively move forward to see if you can see anything around the corner.
All right. Perfect. Move yourself up to where.
I'll
planning on.
I'll put myself maybe.
And what
maybe
could
there.
go wrong?
What could go wrong?
So as you step forward,
so I'm sort of peering around the corner.
Yeah, you look around the corner, and your dark vision allows you to kind of see. It's a small kind of chamber carved out of the cave, and it all looks like it was naturally formed. But there is appears to be a treasure chest sort of a thing, like it's about a 2 feet wide by like 1.5 feet tall wooden chest with like brass workings on the side of it. And as you're kind of looking at this and taking in the sight and scanning this room, you kind of hear this tick, 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 sound like the clacking of mandibles as above you, as you look up, you see a giant spider descending from the roof, and everyone can roll initiative.
Does that trigger my ready to action though?
Yes, you'll get to just go ahead and give me initiative so that I have an order here.
Yep. initiative.
16.
13.
So
20.
8.
Oh God.
we have Golem at 20. We have Wolverax at 16.
Yeah.
Sorry, Greg, what was Rylan?
13.
Rylan at 13. And last was Evan at what?
8.
Evan at 8. Okay,
He's
cool.
still puzzled that it should not be a spider,
Yeah,
but it is a spider.
yeah. Well, you know, you're smart, but there are certain things you do miss. And more that you've never seen something that like this big either. So coming down from the roof, go ahead and take your ready to action.
Okay. It's most likely gonna miss. Let me double check my bonus though. That's only a 14.
A 14 will hit.
Oh wow.
It's a big target, so it's not super hard to miss.
8 damage.
Okay. All right. So, all right. It kind of shrieks in pain and then lunges forward towards Wolverax as it descends from the roof, and it is going to take a bite at Wolverax. So it kind of got the jump. You guys weren't ready. So that would be an 18 to hit Wolverax, I'm assuming. That hits you. And 7 points of piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, so what was it? 7 points of damage and
Yeah.
a Constitution saving throw. How do I do Constitution saving?
So on your thing, there should be your saves. Let me pull up D&D Beyond so I can.
It's under the ability.
Oh, there it
saves.
is. I've got it. Yeah. Cool. This is oh my god, 11.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so 11 will pass. It's not a super tough one. Yeah, let's see. You are cool.
So yeah,
so yeah.
Wolverax is yeah. hit.
So you are not poisoned because you're able to save that.
Okay, cool.
You feel like the warmth of this like venom kind of rush into your body, but you're able to kind of like fight through the pain and everything, and then you're perfectly fine. Yeah, you're able to kind of shrug that off and move on.
Yeah, I look really hurt though.
Yeah. Yeah. Golem, you lead the round.
Yep.
Is that
Okay, so this giant spider's right in front of Wolfrax, right?
yes, it is descended
How big
down.
is
It is a huge, it is a large creature, so it takes up a majority of this space here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk straight up to it and I'm gonna pull out my dagger and stab it.
Okay, perfect, yeah. Go for it.
That's 16.
Okay, 16 will hit. Yeah,
Oh, only 4 damage though.
okay, still. It shrieks in pain as your dagger digs into its fleshy skin. Wolverax, you are up, and Rylan, you will be next.
This is me, is it? Okay. I need to disengage. How do I do that?
Okay, so as an action, you may disengage, but that is your action. You won't be able to cast spells or attack.
That's fine.
But you can do that without provoking an attack of opportunity, and given your current health status, that's probably a good idea. So you can choose anywhere you want to go within your movement, which I believe is 30 feet.
It is. Oh,
It should be, unless you've taken some.
I don't know if I did. Where would it be in my?
It should be in your character sheet. Let me open it up.
Top of the bar.
It
Near your
should be
character.
Oh yeah,
top.
30 feet. There we go. Yeah, 30 feet. Okay, cool. Let me measure some distances.
So every
Yeah,
square
I'm
there
gonna-
is 5 feet. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull back to about there.
Okay, sounds good. You would have a bonus action. I don't know if you have any spells or anything that you can utilize a bonus action.
Bonus action.
Probably not a lot.
No, I can only do.
Yeah, you can.
No.
Okay. Worth a try.
Thanks.
Perfect. So yeah, you stumble back, getting some space between you and this creature that so grievously wounded you.
Yeah.
Rylan, you are.
Yeah, I end my turn.
Just as Wolverex gets past me, I'm going to panic and just fire off an Eldritch Blast.
Perfect. Yeah. Roll to hit.
Oof. That's a 7.
All right. What does your blast look like as you release this eldritch energy from your hands?
I'd say it's, sort of just whip up the palm and a streak of sort of dark purple, almost like lightning, but very, very compact. Just whooshes out of my palm.
Awesome. So this streak of purple energy launches towards this large creature, and it kind of shifts and moves as it sees this energy coming at it, and it strikes the wall behind its like bulbous rear end. And then it is going to look at Golem in front of it. Yeah, I mean it's gonna try to bite Golem as well here. That would be a 12 to hit.
Nope.
I did not think so. That was a bad roll. So it lunges to bite you, and you're able to kind of like swing back a little bit, and it misses at it as it lunged forward. And that will bring up Evan.
Yeah, as Evan is pondering, swore it was not a spider. And as I'm just kind of saying that to myself, I'm kind of hand motioning, and as you see the light from my staff with the bluish whitish flame, it kind of turns more of a whitish icy effect as I whirl it around my fingers and unleash it and fling it at the, I thought it was not a spider. And I'm casting Ray of Frost.
Okay, perfect. Is that a to hit roll or a save?
A frigid blue flame, whitish flame, light streaks toward a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target.
So roll your
So my
hit
spell
roll.
is just 5. This is not good.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a natural 1. Then plus 5, so 6 total. But yeah, I rolled a natural 1.
All right. You're still new with your spellcraft, and you're just still not super accurate or good at it. As you reach out with your spell, it kind of like forms in your hand, and you're not able to properly direct it or release it in time. You're going to take 2 points of frost damage as your hand kind of gets stuck in this frost, and it shatters like at your hand point, like where you should have released. You held it a bit too long trying to get the aim down, and backlashed against you.
As I yell out, ah!
Golem, you're up with Wolverex next.
So I'm going to draw out my light hammer, so now I have a weapon in both hands. And I'm going to just attack and then bonus action attack with my other weapon.
Very nice.
Let's see. So first is the dagger. That's a 22.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll hit.
Do you want me to roll both attacks first? Or?
Yeah, go either way. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. The second one's a nat 20.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
Let's do
So,
it. Roll
let's
up
see.
them damage.
D4 for the dagger, plus 2, so that's a 3 for the dagger.
Okay.
And how do you do crits?
I'm gonna go by the book on this one. So roll the die double, or you can roll the die twice.
Okay, I'll just
Whichever
roll
one.
twice.
Yeah, rolling twice is probably better because it averages out. If you got a 1 on your first roll, that sucks. And then you add your modifier at the end.
I don't add a modifier because it's 2 weapon fighting.
Oh yeah, and that's your second, your offhand.
Yeah, and that would be 7 damage, almost max.
Nice, very nice. It shrieks in pain as it reels back from this blow, and it seems like there's cuts and gashes on it. There's like this kind of like ichor like dripping from its body as you've dealt some serious damage to this creature. Wolverax, recovering from your bite and getting some distance there, what would you like to do?
I will cast Firebolt.
Okay.
Assuming I can still see him. Yeah, I think I can still see him.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to do that. 19 to hit.
That
20,
will
sorry,
hit.
24.
24 will do even more hit, yes.
Nice. And it's 1d10 for damage. That is going to be a 5.
All right.
Probably
How does
5
it
damage.
look as your bolt of flame strikes this creature and it begins to burn up and die?
Cool. So yeah, Wolverax he's pretty pissed. He gets this. He builds a big ball of fire and just casts it towards this giant spider, and it strikes it. And where it strikes, it just gradually, sort of not slowly, but sort of, it makes a big hole and it starts burning up from the inside.
Yeah. And as the flame comes at it, like it can tell that this is going to be the end of it. And you hear this like loud screech, and it slams into it and silence. And slowly you start hearing the crackling of fire as bits of the spider burn up and dissolve away it and the remaining web in this area. And the cave falls silent again.
That fire was flying over my head, so I'm checking to see if my hair's singed.
Yeah. It was closer than you would have liked, but Wolverax seemed to have that aim down true.
Are we out of initiative, by the way?
Yes, you guys are out of initiative at this point.
I'm going to turn around because I saw Wolverax get bit, and I'm going to pull out this piece of hot metal and say, stand still, as I'm casting Cure Wounds on you.
Cool. Yeah, he comes over and like presses this hot piece of metal to you, and it almost like cauterizes, but you feel this flow of energy rush into you from his metal and himself. How much?
That's 10 healing for you.
10 points of healing.
And healing.
Should put you back up.
We don't
to
have
full.
overhealing in this, do we?
No, sadly, no.
I wish.
Not yet.
Thank you very much.
much.
So Wolverax grasps Golden's shoulder in appreciation.
Now you see why I wanted the webs burned. I was afraid of little spiders.
I mean, if she didn't roll so bad on Oliver, all of the perception checks I gave her.
Yeah, there was like 2 opportunities to find it, and
Yeah. That's part of the
yes.
fun of it.
yeah.
As they're doing that, I'm going to run over to the spider
Okay.
and try to harvest anything of use that I could use.
It's pretty tough to get much left over it because the fire has consumed much of it. If some spell component needs some bits of web or anything like that, you're able to gather maybe some hairs that didn't fully burn off the abdomen, but for the most part, the carcass is fairly well destroyed.
Okay. Do I see the chest?
If you got that close, you would be able, like if you ran up to the spider, you would be able to see down that hallway, and down the hallway to your left at that point curves off into darkness again. And
Hey guys, there's a chest over here.
Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna run.
I think we'll have to move up, just like cautiously move up, because are there any more of these big old spiders?
I'm looking at my dagger and saying, I need to get this replaced soon.
I swore it wasn't a spider.
You're right. It wasn't a spider. It was a spider the size of a house.
Well, yeah, there is that. Now we know.
I'm gonna walk over to the treasure chest
All right.
and I'm gonna examine it first before I just open it.
Okay. Are you just looking at it? Are you trying to get like an in-depth, like close, like search of the actual thing?
Thieves' tool. I have thieves' tools. I'm gonna see first if it's locked and trapped.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Okay. Where's my investigation? Oh, that's a +4. Nice. 18. Would that be with proficiency though, because of thieves' tools?
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you proficient with investigation?
I'm not with investigation, but thieves' tools I am. That's what I was asking.
Yeah. So technically, at this point, you're not using your thieves' tools. You're using your investigation. Just looking at it. Then you'll use thieves' tools if you need to open it. So it does appear to be locked, but it seems like a fairly simple lock, and also does not appear to be trapped.
Okay, I tell everyone, you guys might want to stand back a little bit, just in case. It's been a while since I've tried to open a locked door. Chest.
Yep. As I kind of walk down this way a little bit. Actually, I'm going to peek around this corner.
I'm going to hide behind Wolfrex.
Wolfrex is probably just move up just a smidge, but just sort of stay inside this corridor. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
So now what do you want me to roll for?
You can do a thieves' tool, so proficiency plus dexterity.
Just dex, okay. So that would be 23. Yeah, 23.
So you're able to kind of get in there with the thieves' tools and click. It starts to swing open a little bit as it no longer is being held down by the mechanism. Some of you may see how quickly Golem is able to open this with these tools, and perhaps brings questions to mind as to how he got so good at using such things.
Just notice Golem's head turns and he puts a finger up to his mouth, telling him to shush. What's in the chest?
So as it pops open, you see this like cylindrical rod that is silver with like kind of a brass inlay on it with kind of various arcane runes upon it.
Okay. I'm gonna grab it and put it in my pouch.
Alright. Perfect.
Because I remember that the Warforged was the one with the rod.
Okay. Excellent, yeah.
And then I'll tell everyone that I found the rod, so now we just need to find the weird musical thing. And the
loot! It was a loot! Do I see anything as I peek down?
Down which direction? What are you looking at?
Let me do a little thingy, circly thing down this way. Oh crap! I did the wrong circly thing.
Yeah, so you get to that area, and let me illuminate.
Kind of erase the.
Kind of fills that region of it. You see a tunnel goes down. For you, it kind of starts to get very dark. You see a rock like pile of rocks, and then beyond that you see a wall of a cave.
Hey guys, there's something down at the end of this hallway.
I'm coming.
Yeah, hear him shout. I'm gonna walk up as well.
It looks like a dead end, but don't know about this place.
So Wolfrex moves up to behind Evan. Roughly about there. I guess I should probably take a look around the corner, shouldn't I?
You probably have the best eyes out of anyone here
Yeah.
in the depths.
So Wolverex is very cautious, having learned his lesson from from the encounter from the big spider, and peers around the corner, gently shoving Evan out the way.
All right.
I'm about there.
Yeah. So you, similar to him, but with a little bit more detail, albeit most of it like gray and like grayscales. You see towards the end of this walkway there's a wall, similar to the rest of the wall that kind of like cones off and caps off the end of this hallway. And there's a little pile of like rock rubble sitting kind of like in the middle of this opening, so to speak. It's not much. Like most of the pathway is a little bit bigger than 5 feet wide, and then it gets to the end and it kind of bulbs out just a little bit, but then there's some rock just kind of like sitting there,
Okay.
kind of filling that space.
Did we discover what this item is to our west?
There it seems to be there's a little bit of like a stalagmite that's kind of formed there, and you see a little bit of like precipitation or like water that's kind of slowly dropping from the roof. So this part of it is actually kind of slick and almost a little slimy from the fresh water, and the minerals kind of still yet to form a solid structure there.
Should we move up to where this to the end of the corridor, see what's at the end?
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
You first.
No.
While you guys are arguing, I've already walked forward.
Okay. I'll wait for dead last again. So if Evan wants to move forward before me,
I'm good.
okay, I'll stay where I am.
Now I've somehow completely lost my chat, so I can't see chat. But I've managed to ban that person. Okay, yeah. So you guys are able to move forward. Yeah. So you make your way to the end of the hall and kind of make your way closer and closer. What's everyone doing?
We're staying here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have dark vision, so I'm just following the light.
Is there anything around where we're at right now? Us.
Only the stalagmite as far as I
The stalagmite. That's about all it seems to be. There seems to be a stalagmite there. Or is there more that you would be liking to do there?
What does the stalagmite look like?
Similar rock to that surrounding you. Like I said, it is like coming up from the ground, and it appears to be forming from a drip of water that's coming through the ceiling. There's a small stalactite there that's landed, like little bits of water is forming off of it and falling to the ground and forming a stalagmite in that kind of juncture spot right there.
Okay. I will wait to see what Golem
we see what
and
Golem and
Okay.
What do we see at the end of this tunnel?
So as you walk forward, again, like I said, there's a pile of rubble that's there in front of you, and then there seems to be just like a rock wall similar to all the rest of the wall that you've seen.
Are these the stones in this pile of rubble? Are they like massive, or are they sort of liftable?
They're little bits of rocks, so yeah, they don't seem to. Not any one of them seems too big.
Does it look like it was something before? Like this pile of rubble?
Yeah, I mean, give me some sort of check that you think would be applicable. I'll give this kind of an open...
History, maybe?
Sure.
That's gonna be a 15. Ugh.
15. You kind of move them around, and nothing seems to be super obvious to it. Like, there's no finely chiseled spots, but you do notice that there are spots where it appears to have been worked. Whether it was like, you find like marks, like almost as if like a pickaxe had worked this out of somewhere.
Is there anything on the ceiling above? Does it look like the rocks have fallen down?
You look up to the ceiling, and it looks very similar to the rest of the roof area. Fairly smooth, I mean, with a little bit of like rocks jutting in and out, but it doesn't look like there's a pile like that it obviously fell from the roof above.
When I'm trying to reassemble it, I'm going to be trying to cast Mending anytime that I think I have a spot.
Okay.
It looks like it's gonna stay together.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because there's lots of little rubble, but as you kind of piece, you find maybe a couple that would go together, and you're able to like mend it together, and maybe a couple more, and then you get, maybe about a foot size of this put together that seems to just be like rock, as if it were in a rock wall.
This doesn't make sense to me. This rock looks like it was produced, but I don't see any end to it.
Maybe something's buried underneath it.
Maybe.
What'd you guys
Evan looks at the slag. Is it stalactite or stalagmite?
Stalagmite comes out of the ground. Tight comes down.
Okay.
The bumps of the
So-
end come up, and that's the drops of the T come down.
So he looks at this structure in front of him, and then he looks down in the hallway.
So the structure there, I mean, it's not super tall. It's maybe about a little past your knees, but it's obviously been forming over time. And you look down the hall, you see the two figures working there, the Warforged and the Halfling, kind of like rummaging through this rubble of rock and dirt down at the end of the hallway.
I put my hand underneath the droplets.
Okay. You feel a cool to the touch drop of water hit your hand, and then slowly, slide off.
Okay.
Your hand is now wet.
I'll wipe it off. I gather, I would assume that I would have like little vials and all kinds of, stuff like that to help to hold components.
Sure.
So I pull out one and begin filling up one of the little flasks.
Okay. It's a very slow drop, so it takes a while, and you kind of gotta angle it a little bit to try to catch it as it falls. But yeah, with enough time, it starts to slowly, ever so slowly, fill with bits of water from the ceiling. You can see it's kind of
over at
minerally in texture.
Look over at Wolverax. I have an idea. I don't know if this is going to work.
What's your plan?
So maybe the water has something to do with at the end of the hallway.
Okay. How do you? What are you? What?
I love Wolverine so much.
I don't know. It's just a thought. It's a theory.
Do you think maybe try and get some of the water to the rocks?
Yeah.
Do you have a vessel?
That's what I'm doing right now. Drip,
Okay.
drip, drip.
Perhaps like someone and take some over.
Might also have something to do with magic, though, too. So I don't know.
What are the other two doing at the end of the hallway?
I'm going to try and pull some rocks off the top of the pile.
Yeah, Paul says. If I can't
Just to-
find an actual shape, I'm just gonna start trying to undig it.
Just to see if there's anything, like, obviously buried underneath it.
Okay. It doesn't take too much. I mean, it's not a gigantic pile of rubble, but it is, a decent amount of size and fills up a space at, spread out. But you're able to kind of like either like shovel it all off to one side or whatever, and slowly you kind of work your way through. And at the bottom, it appears to be a solid floor like that of which you've been walking upon, and you start like scraping along, and you feel your fingers hitting almost solid stone. Which direction are you pushing the rubble?
I'm going to be pushing it towards this wall, I guess.
Okay.
Like the back side of it.
Why don't the two of you give me an observation, perception check. I'm not playing Dave's game. Perception check.
That's an 11.
Oh, that's a 20.
All right. With a 20, as you're working and you guys are tossing rocks, Rylan kind of throws a rock towards the back of the wall, and it takes you a moment. But when you finally hear it clink, it does not sound like it came as close as the actual wall that he was tossing it towards.
Okay. Rylan,
Yeah.
throw another rock at the wall.
I just find the closest rock and throw it at the wall.
Okay. So now as you watch it, it goes towards the wall and seems to go into the wall. And then you hear click, 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 click as it like kind of bounces off some stone, but it seems in kind of a distance and a slight echoing sound.
Okay. I'll hopefully be right back. I'm just gonna stick my head in the wall.
Okay.
Good luck.
So you walk up and you stick your head into the wall and you find yourself in another cavern. It's like an extension of the same cavern you were in. There's a large kind of circular opening, and you don't have dark vision, so it's tough to see much inside, but you do find that your head went through, did not hit a solid wall, and in fact, like if you reached out at all, you don't feel anything solid directly in front of you as you reach out.
I'm going to run up behind and just sort of pop my head through the wall right underneath you.
Yeah.
Like 2 foot lower.
Hello.
The other two, can you give me perception checks? Jeez, why am I doing that? Damn you, Dave.
Perception. That rolls another 9.
So they don't
You're
notice.
muted.
Yeah, you got a 3. No, it was a laugh of that was horrible. So you're both busily gathering water as the other two have their heads stuck into a wall.
Okay, I'm pulling my head out and I'm just gonna shout to them. Guys, you might want to come see this. Like now. And I'm just gonna walk to the wall after I say it.
So what Wolverax moves up to the wall, and tries to and asks what's going on over here.
I'm already through the wall. As soon as I yelled at you guys, I walked through the wall.
Okay.
So I think there's just half a halfling body.
Wolverax goes,
Yeah, I pull my head out of the wall, I turn around, I start waving, I just walk backwards through the wall.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Can I make an Arcana check?
It's quite dark in here.
Yes, you can make an Arcana check. And as Evan gets closer to the wall, the light in your room starts to increase because the light off of his staff actually penetrates the wall. And
I rolled really, really good.
okay.
22?
It definitely seems to be some sort of illusion spell that makes it appear to be a wall, but not actually being a wall.
I go through, I come back out, I go through, I come back out, I go through. Okay. Interesting. Illusion.
So as he steps through and it illuminates this cavern better, you see a corpse laying up against kind of like a rock wall. And within... Oh, I gotta move it so the stream can see. And so lying atop that corpse appears to be a wooden lute.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how dead is this corpse?
There's no flesh on it. It is like...
Very dead.
I guess a skeleton, but I didn't want to evoke the idea of an undead creature. Yeah, so it's got like tattered and torn clothing. Looks to be of some ancient design, no longer kind of in style in your local area. Nothing else upon it seems to be of value, but the loot seems to be pristine.
I'm gonna walk up to it and grab the loot just in case it might still be alive.
Okay.
and see what happens.
So,
And approach it just in case it's alive.
yeah. As you approach,
Right.
and you reach down and you grab the loot, you lift the loot up, and the skeleton seems to remain stationary. And you now have this nice loot of kind of like this reddish color of wood, almost like an orangish, I guess, hue to the wood to it, and it has inlaid into it like this kind of jade looking stone that's kind of like just spiraling around in different locations upon the loot. Very fancy looking, but even the strings look like they are pristine.
I'm gonna walk up to the corpse and kick its foot with my foot.
The bones kind of shift.
Not hard, just to move it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the bones kind of goes skittering across as it, is dislodged from its, no longer held in place.
Wolverax approaches. Is there anything
Sorry.
else on the body?
Uh,
Is there anything of interest in the body that would be interesting to me?
Yeah, so, you look down, and the clothing that it wore seems to have once been fancy, but is now kind of in tatters, having age done its work to destroy it. There doesn't seem to be anything of value upon this corpse as you kind of look it over, and it appears to be the only thing of note was that loot.
It's not worth. It's not worth taking some of the clothing as like all scrap material or anything. It's like really gone, is it?
It's up to you if you would like to take some scraps of clothing, whether for like components or just future perhaps investigation, but it doesn't appear to have value to it other than that of any piece of old cloth wood.
Evan's definitely going to take samples.
Okay.
I'm just going to walk up to the cloth. You said it's in tatters, so I'm going to try and mend it, see if it looks better not ripped apart.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect use of the spell. So, yeah, you walk up and you kind of pour your magical energy into the cloth that is there, and it starts to slowly like stitch itself back together. And it appears to be a kind of an orangish coloration to it with green like swirls and spirals that seem to match that of the loot. A fancy of once, although now, like I said, an archaic design compared to modern aesthetics, does appear to have been some sort of well-to-do or someone trying to look well-to-do. Nice, kind of thin, but like what would be now like an expensive, exquisite, perhaps like more of like a silky material to it. So if you would like to continue through that, you can have a
might
very,
be worth hanging on to.
Yeah, very nice shirt.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think. Oh God, is he gonna take it? Is he gonna take the shirt? No, I think he'll probably leave it there.
I'm taking the shirt if you don't.
I think person is not really in his wheelhouse.
It also probably would appear to be kind of on the small side for a large dragonborn creature.
I'm going
I'm going to make a history check to see where this has come from.
Okay, yeah.
I am an anthropologist.
Yeah, no, that is totally cool and awesome, and now I need to prep where it's from. So feel free to roll while I look at it.
14.
14. Yeah, given your background and your kind of knowledge of just things in general, you would probably have an idea that it is from... let me see, hold on. An area that currently is no longer visited by most people. It comes from a country called Duloveni. But this is like ancient. Like this, the make of it and everything. It's a style and design that probably 1,000 years ago was popular. Well before that country kind of went to ruin and destruction, and well before the current emperor sits on the throne there.
Absolutely fascinating. So this thing is actually over 1,000 years old.
Sweet. I'm taking parts of it. As you're talking, I'm just cutting strips off so I can use them to make stuff later.
I think I'll take some scraps, some for rags.
Perfect. All right.
While they're doing that, is it leaning against a wall? Is this a wall?
That is a wall. It's like a rock wall but it forms like from top to bottom. But then you can see there seems to be openings on either side of this rock wall, and there seems to be more cavern behind.
I'm gonna peek around the corner.
Yeah. So you look around the corner, and there seems to be a rock face there. It's tough to see without light, given that you don't have dark vision. But there seems to be something etched into the walls, or at least into this main wall in the back of it.
Is that wall quite flat, or is it like where the etchings are?
Fairly flat, and it seems that someone has like chiseled out a flatter part into the stone, then chiseled in some sort of etching and markings into the wall.
How high up is this? Is this like within reaching distance?
It is probably like right about your eye level. There seems to be a few above that, so it's about like between 4 and 3 feet up in the air, on the wall.
I'm gonna shout to the others and let them know there's some etchings on the wall over here.
Okay. I think you're supposed to have this loot, aren't you?
Oh, okay. Don't know if I can play it or not. I'll try, though.
Picture at the beginning.
I'll take it. Oh, does that mean that's me dead? Interesting. And I walk around with the light from my...
So this area illuminates, and it's clearer now that there seems to be some sort of symbols on the wall. Marked in like even patterns across this wall face.
Do they look like a language?
Give me some sort of intelligence check. History, maybe? Or I would also accept performance if anyone would like to do one of them.
That's gonna be...
I'll roll history for me.
Okay.
So a 24?
24. You've seen similar symbols before, and it would appear to be musical notes, or a way, perhaps an old way, but a way to denote musical notes.
I look to Evan and say, you probably have to play that.
I rolled a 15 on history, by the way.
Okay. I mean, it would take you longer, but as Golem kind of mentions, that they appear to be like musical notes, or that you need to play it, you were like, okay.
So I think for a minute, and I was like, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. So in my brain, I think, remembering the teachings and whatnot, would comprehend languages work?
Yeah.
You also understand any written language that you see, so technically is music...
I will allow it. Yeah, that sounds like a good use of that spell.
Okay, so yeah, I immediately look down on the ground, pick up a pinch of soot, grab some salt, rub it in my hands, and begin saying the words and lick my fingers.
Okay. Yeah, and as you finish the spell, and how are you casting comprehend language?
I just
taking 10 minutes, or are you casting this as a...
No, I'm just going to cast it right away. I'm not going to
Okay.
take 10 minutes.
Okay. So you cast it, and immediately, like, your eyes almost have this, like, probably a turquoise-ish hue, kind of almost film come over them, and you're able to look at this and see the musical notes, but instead of just like the archaic version of him, there are like the common notes that would coordinate with like the strings on the like lute itself. And if you look at the lute, you actually can spot parts where it's like denoting the different notes, like etched in using the jade that once you thought was just a symbol is actually like a form of a rune to help people identify which each like string would coordinate with.
I begin to play.
Okay.
While he's playing, can I ritually cast Identify on the rod that I got? Since
Sure.
I think we'll be here a few minutes.
Yeah. So you start casting that. That'll take 10 minutes. Evan, give me a performance check.
Do I get advantage?
Sure. Why not?
Since I know exactly what they
Yeah,
are. And,
yeah. You've got the notes there, and you've got the
13.
okay. It's passable. It's you're not used to playing musical instruments, but you're able to kind of pluck out hitting the notes, and as you play, each rune that represents the musical instrument on the wall lights up and starts glowing, like this yellowish kind of glow to it, and almost like pulsates as you play the next rune, and continues through until you've played the full sheet that's written there. And you've probably heard better musicians, but it's definitely not bad. You've heard worse, at your local drinking establishments. And as you finish, the runes kind of flash this bright light. It's almost feels even brighter due to how dark it is. And you hear, and the wall and the ground starts shaking, and the wall starts slowly sliding open until finally you can see beyond it a room that appears to be more of a stone, worked stone, like cobblestones together with stone walls, and more of like a set kind of structure ahead of you. Are you...
Who's first? I'd look at the rest of the group.
Not me, and I step behind Wolverex.
Oh.
Still trying to figure out what the rod is.
Yeah,
I
it
just-
takes you 10 minutes, so that maybe took Evan one. So it's up to you guys whether you're going to wait for Golem to finish casting upon the rod. Or...
I look at Golem, see what he's doing. Screw it, I'm going, despite what he said. I go through.
All right.
Have fun with giant spiders.
When I get at this corner,
Okay.
I'm going to try to be like sneaky about it too.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
The stupid dice. That's the second 7 I've rolled. So it's a 10.
All right. Yeah, you slink up, being all nice and quiet like, or so you think.
Yeah.
Everyone else kind of hears a little bit of the echo of his footfalls through these tunnels as everything is kind of amplified, being in this kind of empty cavern with nothing on the walls to absorb sound.
So does that mean the light then goes with him? Because he's got a light, right?
Yeah.
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 Which is left in darkness.
You
my
see
staff.
across, like, as light, like, kind of cascades across this kind of path in front of him, next to his body. So it would be like, a path of light that kind of comes out this way to illuminate down the hallway.
And as I peek around, the light up from the staff also peeks around.
Yeah. See, almost like this candlelight kind of come around the corner and then illuminate further in. And you see the pathway goes down probably in another 30, 35 feet, and then seems to turn off to the left or to the north.
I turn back to the group. Hey guys, coast is clear. It looks like it goes down a bit, then turns. but nothing scary. And I do my hands.
Wolverine moves up behind Evan. Maybe, yeah, just about there, just to sort of see around up to the end of the corridor.
I think I'll join you.
Okay.
Yeah, Wolverax definitely would be able to see better down to the end. But again, you see, and then the walls here, you can tell it's almost like they were masoned walls that were kind of like the bricks and everything laid. These stone, it's made out of stone, not brick, but like evenly cut stones and a fairly flat wall that definitely looks like it was worked and designed to be that way. Going down to the end of the hallway, and it darkens, and you can't see very well up, but you can tell that it turns to the north. Are you guys waiting?
So what do you think?
As Golem's maybe 5 minutes into his spellcasting now.
Yeah, I think I'll wait for the Golem.
So at that moment, I'll just
I'll
kick
wait for the Golem anyway.
kick back up against the wall, kind of lean, pull out the lute, and start like strumming it a little bit, and thinking about all my travels and this, that, and the other, and yeah, you start to hear maybe some kind of makings of a song come out of it.
All right. And you guys can hear this like reverberation of the music kind of like being amplified by the tunnels themselves. And you can hear it waft up to you pretty easily there, Golem, as you sit and you work at this spell. Finally, your ritual is done. You've gone through the incantations and the intricacies of your spell, and eventually the rod will kind of flash with a little bit of light, at least to you, and you're able to tell that it is a like a rod of spellcraft. So it would enhance the power of someone holding the rod, basically like granting a +1 to hit, and for spells, an extra point of damage as well for anyone wielding this and using it as like a focus for your spellcasting.
Interesting. I'll walk up to the rest of the party and tell them the information I found about it.
Do artificers get ritual casting? No.
We do get ritual casting, though.
Okay, cool.
I just double checked.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out if I could walk while ritual casting, but you can't.
Okay. I couldn't remember whether they actually got ritual casting. I know they get ritual spells. Either way, it didn't matter too much to me. I was just curious.
They're one of the classes that does get it as a half-caster.
That's cool, because that's rarer on some of them. All right. So, yeah, Golem's able to join you guys with this this kind of rod in hand. What would you guys like to do?
Well, let's continue down the tunnel, I guess.
Sounds like a plan.
Unless you want me to try and figure out what the other 2 items magic is, but that'll take a while.
We should go. I'm getting hungry.
I'm tempted just to give it to you.
If I could do it while walking, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I might give it's around the corner maybe.
I'm gonna. You said the coast is clear around the corner, so I'm gonna head over to this corner and peek round up.
Okay.
Also, trying to be a bit sneaky.
It's tough for you to see too far due to no real source of light. However, you do kind of spot this faint bluish glow emanating further into the distance.
I'll move up to the corner to try and see what's around the corner. Again, sort of. You guys are in the way. Yeah, sort of about here.
You just peek over the top of me. It's fine.
Yeah.
So you're able to see further
Yes.
down this tunnel, and the tunnel continues for a good distance. I'm not zoomed in enough to tell. About 30 feet, and then it seems to open up into a larger room ahead.
It's clear up to where I can see.
Yeah, you don't seem to see any movement within this room itself. From
Do we hear? Can we hear anything?
yeah, feel free to give me perception checks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Getting caught off guard again.
It's an 8.
Or maybe I am because I just rolled the net 1. And that's a 7.
Jeez.
Jeez, you're super perceptive.
I rolled today.
Yeah.
Only for Gollum, anyways.
So we don't hear anything, do we?
Doesn't seem to be. It seems very quiet. And
I'll move up to that corner.
Yeah, I didn't hear or see anything as well, so I'm going to follow you.
Actually, from the back, you do hear a little tune being played.
it's probably worse is that you guys hear this ding ding ding, like he's like working out a song as he's walking forward with the lute in hand.
Ding 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 ding.
You
More
walk.
like dee 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 dee.
At some point, I'm gonna throw my hammer at him.
Yeah. Feel
In
free.
front of him. Not actually aim at him, but I'm throwing my hammer directly in front of him.
What?
We don't know if there's any more giant spiders. Stop trying to attract.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
Give
as
my
you
hand.
guys step into this room, there does appear to be a portal. However, it's not open. It's the same sort of pillars, and the runes along the side of it are glowing faintly to give off what little light is in this room. And especially Wolverax with good dark vision can see that there seems to be some sort of altar. There's steps that lead up to an altar, and behind the altar there seems to be a painting of a similar, like, godlike figure as to that which you saw in the front of the room. You also spot off to the corner there appears to be a like plate of armor that's just kind of like standing there stationary.
Uh-oh. Which corner's that in?
This bottom corner right here. That's
Just
not
go
bad.
ahead and draw it, dude. Oh, you can use them. No, we'll use one of those bookmarks.
Yeah.
You can just grab one of the symbols off the side and pull it over.
Like that.
Perfect. Oh, nice. Okay.
Um,
I'm going to join you in the room. I'll just stand sort of in the center.
Okay.
I'm behind Wolverax.
Sure. Use the one that got bitten earlier.
I think we need to offer these items up to the altar, like the picture showed,
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting.
or I don't know. Something about that armor doesn't seem right. Why is there just random armor sitting here?
Wolverax.
And also, what was I meant to be offering up? I didn't have anything in my hands, and I'm not offering myself.
Wolverax,
Oh, that
can
would
you
be
give
awesome.
me a perception check?
God.
Tempting fate here.
Yep.
12?
All right. You feel a faint tug at your backpack. And then as you go to look, you see your sword is floating in the air behind you. Everyone give me an initiative rolls.
Uh-oh. This is really bad.
I got initiative. Okay.
I got 1, but 4 total.
Okay.
18.
18?
Yep.
Okay. So
I rolled the exact same thing that I rolled the last initiative.
So neat.
Exactly a 5 again. The world is my dice one.
So you're there. Wolverax is there. You said you got the same thing, Mason?
15.
15. Oh, 15. 15. Okay. Let's see. What do we got? Plus. Okay.
And this is really a problem. I have no more spells.
There's a sword token on here too.
I know. I'm trying to get initiative in order first. And Rylan said that was a 1.
I rolled a 1, got a 4 total.
4 total. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
I'm not the lowest.
All right. So, Wolverex, you were able to notice, so you're able to react. Give me 1 second, and let me drop a sword onto the map now that I have. So you notice this sword that was attached to you.
Yeah.
Is now floating in the air beside you, and it's raised up as if it is going to try to strike at you.
I'm able to reach out and grab it. The handle.
Okay.
Would I be able to do that?
Yeah. Give me an athletics check.
14.
So yeah, you grab hold and you can feel it trying to resist your pull, but you have a firm grip on it, and it doesn't seem to be able to kind of free itself.
Okay. I can do a spell as well, right?
In this case, this is like you're grappling it, so that would be your action.
Okay.
So only if you had like a bonus action spell, which I don't think you did.
Dual wield. No.
But the bonus is
dual-
you've got it under control, so
Two
it's
weapon
not
fighting. Yeah.
going to attack you. Unless it can get free.
Okay. Do so. Yeah, that'll do me.
All right. Next is going to be the
Unless
sword.
I can move. Can I move?
Oh yes, you can move. You can.
Yeah,
You'll
I think
move
I'll
at
move.
half speed because you're fighting the pole of the sword, and the sword will go along with you,
Yeah.
unless you decide. Drop.
Further into the room. So that's you can move. Yeah.
What was that?
Right.
15 feet, so 3 squares.
That was the wrong tool.
I hate when I do that. I'll erase it. Feel free to.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I'll go to that. And I assume that comes with me.
Yeah, wherever
Right. Okay.
around you you want to have aimed the weapon, I will leave that up to you.
Yeah. Okay.
The weapon itself kind of shudders and attempts to fight your hold on it. Give me another athletics check.
Mm-hmm. Athletic.
So it's strength based. If you don't have skill in it.
5.
5. The sword like wrenches to one side, and you're unable to hold on to it as it like flings itself out and is now floating free again. But that was its action in order to attempt to get free itself. On the other hand, the armor starts to move forward slowly. This structure of armor starts to slowly walk forward towards the nearest creatures.
What type of armor does it look like?
It appears to be almost like a plate armor. It is a full suit of armor. And it strides forward towards Ryland, but is unable to make it to him. Thus, it will actually go ahead and use its action to move its full distance, so it can get up into melee with Ryland, but is unable to attack this turn due to the distance. So now we are going to have Golem with Evan on deck.
Okay. And I see the armor and the sword, right?
Yes, you definitely like the armor is not quiet as it's moving forward across the room. You hear the clinks and the ksh, 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 plots forward.
I'm gonna walk right up next to the sword
Okay.
because that seems like a bigger threat right now than the armor because it's a sword that's trying to kill us. The armor's armor. And I'm going to, I guess, stab it
Okay.
and hit it with my hand. I'm just going to attack twice. Because bonus action.
Attack
I
away.
think fire with fire.
So the dagger is a 12.
That will miss.
Oh.
It is tough
The
to hit
hammer-
this flying sword.
Is a 19 though.
19 will hit though.
That's sad. That will be 2 damage.
All right. You hear the clank of your metal hammer upon the metal sword, but you can see it waver a little bit in the air as it takes a little bit of damage. Now we've got Evan. You're up.
How heavy would you say the loot is?
It's hefty, but it is a wooden loot, so it is
Over 5 pounds?
What would a guitar be? Probably somewhere around the 5 pound mark.
Oh, okay.
If you want it over, it's fine. It can be over. If you want it under, it's fine. It was not a.
Okay, I'm gonna let it be under.
Okay.
Oh, since it's probably magical and stuff like that, naturally. So I'm assuming that I'll be under. So I am going to move. And I'm not each square is 5 feet.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go 5. Now, threat range is a 5-foot square closest to things.
Yeah. Unless, I mean, depending on whether they have reach or not, which you wouldn't know. But in general, most creatures threaten the 5-foot spaces all around them.
Okay.
So as long as
So
you're
that's my
have a square
35
between
feet.
you, you're good. Okay.
So that's my 35 feet.
Okay.
Can I get up to the altar from that area, or do I have to climb stairs to get to it?
I'd say at that point you're kind of close enough. Like the stairs, if you were maybe Rylan, you'd probably have to climb the stairs to be able to reach it. But you're tall enough, you could probably reach out and
Okay.
touch the altar at the very least.
Okay. Because I was going to try to see if I couldn't place the loot on the altar
Okay.
itself. If I can't, then I was going to cast Mage Hand and then float the loot up there.
No, I'd say you could definitely like reach out, especially like you grab the handle of it and you can reach out and set it on the altar. So you place the loot upon the altar, and the statue, or not the statue, but the painting of the goddess starts to illuminate a little bit. And you see the runes upon the pillar glow a little bit brighter. The pillars where the portal would
So
be.
it says my comprehend languages is duration 1 hour. Can I actually read that language?
Yeah, I mean, you would recognize that they are arcane runes, and that they are basically just different symbols that correspond to a portal somewhere else. Like that's the part of the
main
incantation
goal.
of that portal makes the destination is kind of inscribed. It's got some matching rune somewhere else.
Hey guys, when y'all are done fooling around, y'all got to put the items on the pillar. It teleports everybody. And then I kind of turn around and go, oh, one's floating.
Yeah, we have to get rid of at least somehow incapacitate.
Little bit.
We can do that.
And I guess as a bonus action,
Okay.
I believe in myself once again.
You believe in yourself.
Pull
once
off.
again?
Huh?
I thought you said you believe in yourself once again.
Yes, I believe in myself once again. And I reach up and grab some of the light from my staff and twist it and twirl it, and it begins freezing as I look at the floating sword and unleash Ray of Frost,
Okay, go for it.
hoping I don't freeze the crap out of my hand again. Better. 13.
It shatters upon the wall and ice crystals scatter there, but you missed the target. It's tough to hit if sword that's flying in the air.
Yeah.
Rylan, you are up.
So first off, I shout, "Thanks for leaving me with the giant armor, guys. That's fine. Don't worry, I'll deal with it." And then I put my hand up, and if I can, cast Tasha's hideous laughter.
Okay. What's the roll?
That's a 13 wisdom save.
Okay. No problem. It only has a -4. So it will fail with a total of 8. I believe it falls to the ground.
Yeah, it goes prone, and everything is hilarious. It can make a save every time it takes damage.
Okay. Just when it takes damage?
Takes damage, and at the end of each of its turns.
Okay. So it falls to the ground, and you can kind of hear the armor clinking and twisting as it like moves around in this weird, hideous form of laughter as the faceplate of the armor kind of goes up and down as if it's laughing, but you don't actually hear sounds. You just of the armor that seems to not have been as oiled as it probably should be over the long time.
Does that now mean I can move away from it if it's prone and laughing?
Correct. Yeah, it cannot use any actions, I believe, due to that, so it won't be able to react to you moving it away. That is awesome. Pull out on that one. That's a good. All right. So, Rylan dances away from this armor that's kind of flailing upon the ground, caught in this weird silent laughter. Wolverax, you are up, and then they will be.
Yeah, I will cast. Shall I reach out for again? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp on it.
Okay. You will have advantage because it is
yes,
made out of metal. Yeah.
You'll do what? Say that again.
You get advantage because it is made out of metal. Technically, the wording and the thing is that their armor's metal. But so you're gonna roll your die, or if you're using D20 D&D Beyond, just roll it twice and take whichever one's the highest. There should be an attack plus something there, probably like a +5 or a plus
20. Oh, 2 nat 20s.
Wow. Okay. Perfect. Does it give
25?
You the... Damn. Did it give you the damage on that too?
Now. 2d8. 10. Crit. It says crit 10.
I wish I
didn't roll an 8.
It's not showing me. I think it automatically calculates when you click on the thing. So let me see if I can.
Okay.
I don't know why my
7 plus 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. I can now see your rolls. Yeah, so it would. Is it normally 2d8 normally? Shocking Grasp it's 1d8 normal, right?
Oh no, it's 1d8 normally.
Okay, so it already did the second roll for you. So you're going to deal 10 points of damage to this sword, and you see it kind of like shudder in the air, and it is unable to use a reaction if you desired to move away.
I will stay where I am.
Okay, very nice. The sword will. Let's see who is. Yeah, I mean, Sorry, Wolverax. You're the one that just did the most damage to it. The sword kind of reanimates now, like the electricity starts to dissipate from it, and it will swing down at you, attempting to strike at you, but it's still recovering from the lightning damage, and it swings wide, as I only rolled a 9 total on his attack. The armor is going to attempt another wisdom save. And at a total of a 1, it stays there laughing hideously on the ground as you manage to shut that down. And who is up next? We've got Golems up with Evan following after.
Okay, well, the sword's still floating, right?
It's still floating. It tried to take an attack at Wolverax, but it was kind of like a quick swipe, and Wolverax is able to move out of the way, and it appears that the sword was not as elegant as it probably should have been.
Okay, well, I'm gonna attack it again with both weapons.
Okay.
That would be... Okay. I don't know why I didn't tell you the number. That's a nat 20 and 15? 15.
Okay. Nat 20 will hit. 15 will not.
15 does not. Well, I'm happy I rolled the nat 20 on the dagger instead.
These are both high armored things, but I figured most of you will have things that require saves versus things, and B, I just felt they fit the area in which I put them. So, what's the damage on that dagger? I'm assuming was the nat 20.
10 for the dagger.
10 for the dagger. The sword falls and clanks off the ground as it is now lifeless. Are you going to do anything with the rest of your...
What sort of action... Is it an action to throw the rod? Just throw it towards Evan?
I'll let you use a bonus action for that. It will be checks on both your parts, so give me an athletics check to see...
I used my bonus already to do the second attack.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then no, if you used your action and bonus action to attack, then we're going to say that you wouldn't have, you still have weapons in your hand too. You wouldn't be able to dig it out.
Okay. I'm going to use my free object interaction then to put the hammer away.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, no problem. Evan, you're up. They have dealt with the sword. There's still an armor that is clanking around kind of uselessly on the ground. What would you like to do?
I don't know. Let me see if I can do this. 50. Yep, I can. So, well,
next.
Would I have deducted that from the magical runes that they are specific to each party member? Or can anybody pick up an item and place it on?
Give me an intelligence check, just a straight
intelligence check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come on, big money, please. On the table. Okay, not bad.
Love the confidence.
I rolled a total of 16.
Okay. You're not 100% certain, but you would think that it probably more matters that they get to the altar more than the specific person needs to put it on the altar. You would surmise that the painting was designed to give you guys a clue, and just the fact that there are items had to be in somebody's hands.
With that thought, I scream out, "I got it!" And I run over 5, 10. Now, what about moving in spaces of... What's the rule on that one?
I mean, your allies, as long as it's not like a super compact area, I'd say your allies are able to kind of like let you pass if they so are willing.
Okay. So I'm running over there 15 feet. I pick up the sword.
Okay.
And I run back, and I still got 5 feet of extra movement because of my
Yep.
work. Is that a move action or is that actual action?
So it'd be a move action to pick it up, and I'd say you could burn whatever you want really to set it on the altar. Like
Okay, bonus action.
Just because you already picked it up, that would be kind of like a free action with your movement.
Okay.
But then to maybe set it back down because you're doing another action.
Action.
I'd say you could burn a bonus action if you want.
Okay.
To actually set it.
I do so.
Okay. You set it upon the altar, and the painting illuminates further, and the runes on the portal area glow even brighter. It would appear that your guess that didn't matter who put them on there was accurate.
We have 2 more. Well, sorta.
And that would be now Ryland's turn.
Okay, so the sword and the loot have been put on the altar.
Yes.
I yell for no one to attack the suit of armor, and I just how many? I got 25 feet of movement. I can only get halfway. I'm just going to move slightly towards the portal. I think, yeah. If we don't attack the armor, it will just giggle on the floor. The giggling mess. Hopefully.
Okay. And how long does that spell last? A minute?
Let me see. With me. It just says for the duration. Oh, concentration up to 1 minute. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as long as you're concentrating on it, it will stay there for a minute. So it's gone 2 full rounds now, I think, and then. Or no, 1 full round now. It's only saved once. So, yeah. Or not saved once. Perfect. So you're going to stay right there. And next up in the initiative order is Wolverax.
So I immediately ignore the request for Rillen. And I cast Light on the giggling armor.
So what were you casting again?
Firebolt.
Okay, cool. It will be disadvantaged because it is prone on the ground.
Okay. So that is an 8.
Okay, so it will splash across the ground nearby it, leaving a scorched mark, but it does not take damage, so it remains kind of in its paralyzed state, so to speak. It would be up, and now is going to attempt to save. 11, does that pass?
It's a 13.
Okay,
pass.
so no. It remains... I need to roll like a 17 to get out of that. It remains there, kind of shaking around on the ground as we go. Next up is Golem.
I'm gonna say, what if we need to sacrifice the armor too? And as I say that, I'm walking up to the armor, pulling out the rod, and I'm going to cast something. Sword burst, because it's a dex save, and he's prone.
Okay, so this is disadvantage, I believe. Well, I'm assuming the 7 that I rolled first won't pass, so it will take damage. So roll your damage.
And you said this rod gives me bonus damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be a 6 on the die, so whatever the bonus is.
Okay. It was a +1, so it would be 7 points of damage, and I get to make another save for the armor, right? Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I rolled a 3. That won't happen. So it continues to laugh even as your spell slashes across the armor, gouging a chunk out of the plate, definitely damaging it.
I feel kind of bad for it.
I don't.
You should. Poor armor. That's Golem, Evan, then followed by Rylan. Is that natural? Is that automatic crits? Although it's a save, so you don't get crits on saves.
No, it's they can't take actions or reactions as well.
Yeah.
As the problem.
Okay. All right. I knew it couldn't do those. I wasn't sure whether that was part of the spell or whether it's.
No, but that you're strained or paralyzed.
Okay. Dave?
Paralyzed.
I guess Evan will go ahead and run to the door.
Okay. So Golem has seemed to engage with the armor, and you run over towards the door. Anything else you'd like to do? You still
Is it still on the ground though? I mean,
it is.
or has it gotten up?
It still seems to be chuckling in the weird kind of armor chuckle that it does.
Okay. Well, before I run over, are you going to use the rod anymore?
Well, I'm trying to kill the armor, so yes. Because I think we might need to sacrifice it too.
Okay. Then I'm moving.
Okay. You're like, all right, fine. I'm out. Peace. Any actions or anything beyond that?
I immediately look over at Rylan and say, "Go touch your hand over on the altar."
Okay, I will do.
All right.
Is that everything for you? I'll zip past. How am I gonna zip past? First I after seeing Golem run up and attack the armor, I sigh, facepalm, and it's disadvantage on prone if I'm making a ranged attack on it, right?
Correct. Yeah.
But if I'm standing right next to it, is there still a disadvantage?
Yes, technically, because you're doing a ranged attack at close range.
Okay.
If you have something that takes a save, then it doesn't matter where your range is on that.
I was just going to stand right over it and Eldritch Blast it.
Okay.
Or it would actually cancel out the disadvantage because it's any attack in 5 feet, so it'd be a straight roll.
Yeah. So just
straight roll.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say 11 to hit.
11 will not hit.
Okay. That's it for me then.
It actually like splashes against the armor, but it doesn't seem like you were able to get enough force to penetrate the thick metallic skin of this construct. Back up at the top, I believe, comes to Wolverex, then them.
I think, again, Ulrich will try Firebolts.
Okay.
It's with advantage again, isn't it?
Disadvantage if you're firing from the range.
From the range.
Yeah. So like you could stand up right next to it and blast it, and it would be a straight roll because of its incapacitation. You'd get advantage on it, but at a ranged attack, you end up getting disadvantage.
Okay. Well. Okay. Right. Take lowest.
Yeah. So you do also have you had bonfire, right?
Bonfire's the same.
So you could use bonfire.
Yeah.
And I'll allow you to do that because it's a save for him, and because he's prone and incapacitated, it's disadvantage for the dex save on bonfire.
Okay. We're undoing that, and we're doing create bonfire.
I'm fine with it. You're still learning the mechanics of the rules, so this is a teaching opportunity. Well, my first roll was a 3, so I don't think disadvantage is going to get much worse.
Dex 13.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll damage. I'm going to see if he magically...
That one.
Okay. So 1 for the damage. So he takes 1 point of damage, and he stops shaking, and his gaze turns, and it slowly starts to stand up, and it'll look down at Rylan. Not too happy for having been turned into a giggling mess for a while. will take its swing at him. Oh. But that's a 10 to hit. So.
Doesn't hit.
Man, my dice are doing
Just
great.
whips over my head.
Yeah, it misjudged your height on its way to stand
Understandable.
up. Yeah, it's like. All right. Jeez, let's get going. Golem.
Okay,
Armor's
first,
standing.
would it be okay if I retconned the original time I cast, identifying it as a ritual because I didn't realize that artificers could ritual cast?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, then I'm going to use my spell slot for Tasha's Caustic Brew,
Okay.
which is a dex save.
Okay. Whoo, that's a 2. So yeah, you're good.
So
This die needs to
I
get
just
shot.
take a bite out of my whetstone and just basically you see this green goo come out of my mouth towards him. And he takes 2d4 damage at the start of each of his turns. Only 2 damage this turn, but and when he takes gets hit.
Okay.
And then he's covered in acid until the spell ends. It's concentration up to a minute.
Okay.
And he can use an action to scrape or wash off the acid.
All right. Sounds good. We got Evan, followed by Rylan.
Thinking back of the paintings, the one that was holding his hands, did it look like he might have been maybe casting a spell or something?
No, it just looked like he was, presenting himself to the altar or, to the goddess.
Okay.
Like,
So-
just kind of standing there, like almost in worship, sort of a thing.
With that thought, I'm going to run back to the altar and start doing that. Exactly what,
Okay. Kind of like
exactly
kneel
what the paint.
before the altar,
Yeah.
like okay.
And knowing, what it says on the altar and what I've deducted so far, I'm going to start doing whatever practices I have to do to activate this part of the altar.
Okay. Perfect. You kneel and get in position. Is that all you're doing on your turn? So.
Yeah.
All right. Rylan, you are up.
Is there any benefit from being behind a creature?
Yeah, if you're using a melee attack, you can get advantage if you're directly across from your ally, sort of thing. Like if there's the guys in between the two of you, you can get advantage.
And the armor is it considered a size larger than I am?
You are small, right?
Yeah.
Then yes, it would be considered a medium, so it is a size larger.
Okay, so I'm gonna hop behind it using my halfling nimbleness, and then I'm gonna stab it in the back with a dagger.
Okay. No problem.
And that's 16 to hit.
And so if you go here, you can get advantage on that roll.
Okay. So there's a 16 to hit, but should I roll again? Or?
Yeah. You want to roll again.
Okay.
For multiple reasons. 116 doesn't hit.
Okay, so neither hit then.
The other is that you always have a chance to get a nat 20. So, so always worth a try. Nothing else. You are giving Golem advantage on his rolls, assuming everything stays the same here. However, it is Wolverex's turn to. On his turn, he had to make another dex save because you still had the bonfire there. I forgot that. He fails, so roll damage for your bonfire again.
Me.
Yeah.
It'd be a 7.
Okay. That's a really good roll. All right, so now it is your turn. So the bonfire stays with concentration. So as long as you don't cast another concentration spell, it's going to stay there. You can still cast another spell if you would like.
Or I guess I could try.
So now it is standing up too. So a firebolt or any of those sort of spells will not incur disadvantage.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I will do. So bonfire is persisting, correct?
Yes, it
And I can do
persists.
firebolt as well.
Yes. As long as your
Okay,
next
so I'm gonna
spell doesn't say concentration on it, you can just keep thinking about it. Then if you take damage, then you'd have to roll on it. But you're pretty safe.
Okay.
There's no other enemies.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll do. I'll cast firebolt at this point.
Okay.
Which is a 12 to hit.
Okay. 12 does sadly not hit. But it like splashes against the armor and there's like a scorch mark across the armor, but it doesn't seem to phase the construct. And it is going to
At the start of its turn, it takes damage from 2 effects now.
yes.
The acid and the bonfire.
Yes. So roll let me roll to see if the deck saves. A 14 against your save. I think he's able to dodge the fire this turn. Then the acid just happens, right?
Yep, until he takes an action or ends my concentration on it. So
Okay.
he takes 5 damage
5
from the
damage.
acid.
And then are you adding 1 for your rod?
Oh, I was not. So that'd be 6, and the other one would have been 3 then.
Yep. I adjusted the first one because I assumed you weren't. But so yeah, it shudders as the acid seems to kind of flow against his armor, gouging out scores in his armor. And he's going to remember that he gets 2 attacks and make them both at Golem.
Okay.
That would be a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And the next one was just a 12.
That does not.
So it will slam its fist against you, dealing 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so I have to make a con save,
Just
Which
10,
would be-
though. Yeah,
which is almost impossible for me to fail.
it's pretty tough. So
I have a
for the
plus
newer
6.
players, if you're concentrating on something, you take damage. You got to roll against the DC is a con check, Constitution saving throw, against either 10 if the damage is, or half the damage. So because the damage is below 10, he takes 10. But if he took like 22 points of damage, his DC would now go up by.
That's a 15 anyway, so yeah, I pass.
Yeah, no problem. So perfect. And then that would actually, he is going to not desire to stay in the fire, so he's going to step over and move over here. So Rylan, you will take an attack of opportunity using your dagger or whatever melee weapon you had at hand.
That's an 11 to hit, so that doesn't hit.
Correct. Yep. So you scrape across the back of the armor, but you not with enough force to penetrate. And
Against his shins, just stabbing him in the shins.
yeah. Just yeah, and so he kind of maneuvered so that he's no longer standing in the middle of this bonfire.
Makes sense.
It wasn't as worried about the halfling behind it as the fire. It's already burned a ton of it up. Next up, I believe, is Golem.
Yep. So I'm going to take out my whetstone and rub it across my dagger to cast Sword Burst again, as
Okay.
a bunch of little spectral swords appear. So he makes a dex save again.
So good at saves. That would be a 7, so that would be a fail.
That fails. So he gets to take,
And add the 1 for the rod.
yep, 7 points of force damage.
And it is rent open, and there's bits of like arcane energy flowing inside that seems to maintain the animation of it. And you kind of see that kind of like sputtering and almost as if it is running out of energy to sustain itself. And
I
Evan,
don't think I bonus action.
it doesn't seem that like kneeling before the altar of the goddess has done much.
Okay.
Didn't
Even like putting my hands on the altar and
Yeah, you remember how it was, and you try, different poses and positions, and it doesn't seem to react to any of that.
I go, okay, I can do this. I have faith in myself. I stand up, turn around, open my eyes, pull a thread from the light, weave it again, and fling the icy shard at
The armor.
the suit of armor.
Roll. I mean, it's tough. It's got a high armor anyway, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. Probably not. 13.
Yeah, it shatters across the armor. You hit it this time, but it just like shatters across like its pauldron, and it gets icy. But then it like the ice that's there just kind of like slowly thaws, and there's like a little bit of moisture that's dripping down the plates of the armor. It doesn't seem
as my thought now is, I'm a bit close. Nope. And as I go run, nope.
All right. Rylan is up, followed by Wolverax.
So I'm extremely annoyed that it's just ignored me and walked away. So I'm going to fire an Eldritch Blast at its back.
Sounds good.
That's a 17 to hit.
So close. But not quite. Yeah, they're extremely tough to hit. Just miss.
That's it for me. I'm not going to move.
Staying there. Yeah, there's a bonfire in front of you now.
Warm in my hands.
Yeah, nice and warm in this dark, damp cave. Also giving off some light for you to see. Wolverax, you are up.
Okay, question. If I were to cast Lightning Lure,
Okay.
would Golem get opportunity?
Nope.
No.
Because
Yeah, because you can't force them out of the zone and still get the benefit of it.
but if you cast a spell that does fear and it affects them, you do get an opportunity because that's not force movement.
Okay. Interesting.
The other cool thing you could do with Lightning Lure, and I'm not saying you need to, but it is an option. If you position yourself in such a position that its 10-foot pole would put it back into the bonfire,
Yeah.
it would then get pulled into the bonfire and have to do
Right.
that too.
That is a good question. That is a good call. Thank you. Yeah, that is
New
still
players,
there.
I'm going to be nice for a while. Then later on, the tactical advantages of that will not be.
One session. Next session we will die.
How far does it move me up to?
Did you look
10
at my
feet?
session notes for next time? All players die.
Read you like a book.
Okay,
You laugh
so
now.
I will do that. I will move 20 feet to that position, and then do Lightning Lure.
Cool.
Nice.
So roll your
So-
to hit, right? With Lightning Lure, or is it
Roll.
a
No,
save?
it's Lightning Lure is a save.
Oh, okay. It saves
13. Strength.
against strength. Okay. I rolled a total of 8, so it will fail. So roll your damage.
Okay. It is gonna be a 2,
Okay.
and then he gets moved to that spot,
Yeah.
which is where the bonfire still persists. So I need to roll damage for the bonfire, right?
You may, if you desire. However, even as your spell of your lightning lure ends, you can tell that the animation of the armor has ceased, and you're just kind of pulling along plates of very damaged and destroyed armor.
Very
So do I get bits of armor fly at me? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The armor's coming at you finally, but just being yanked unnaturally, and doesn't really doesn't affect you. But now the armor is starting to heat up in this bonfire and glow slightly.
Can I dispel it as part of my?
Yeah,
bonus
yeah.
action?
It's
Can
you
I?
just
Yeah.
stop thinking about it, and it just and the armor starts to
Okay,
cool
that's
off.
it.
and it seems to be quiet and calm again in this this place. Well done.
We're out of initiative now. aren't we?
Now we're out of initiative. Feel free to go. And I'm
I'm
sorry,
gonna
we kind
end
of powered through any break that I would have taken, but there's not much left here. So
That's fine.
I'll end concentration on my acid spit on him then too.
yeah,
Once it looks dead.
it definitely no longer looks animated.
Okay, and I'm going to walk over to it because I know that men doesn't repair magic, and I'm going to repair the armor so it's actually good armor again.
Okay, no problem.
And then I'll walk over to the altar and put the rod thing in it.
Okay, as you set the rod upon the altar, the painting glows even brighter. The runes on the portal glow even brighter, and a portal appears in the opening.
Okay, I'm grabbing the armor then. If we don't need it to sacrifice, I'm taking it.
Okay.
As I look over and see it lit, look at the rest of the group. I'm gonna try it, and I go up to it and stick my finger.
You feel like a pull on your finger.
It worked. I'm going in, and I go through.
All right. You go through. You feel the yank of your body, that unnatural kind of feeling as you get yanked through. Everyone else sees Evan disappear into the portal.
Before I go through, I would like to just test something.
Okay.
I go over to the altar and I pick up the sword.
Okay. Golem, did you already go through?
No, I'm waiting. I'm just
Okay.
moving my character out of the way.
All right. The portal dissipates as soon as the sword is lifted.
How long does that take?
It's almost instantaneous. Like the moment you pick up the sword,
Oh, that's
the portal
sad.
disappears.
Would it be feasible for me to stand in front of the portal and dart through as I find a way to yank it off the portal and sort of take it with me?
I mean, it
Tie a rope
seems
around it.
like the moment it is like a millimeter above the altar itself, it's once it loses contact, it seems that portal immediately dissipates.
It's gone immediately.
Is the altar like attached to the ground? Like, is it really solid?
It is a massive piece of stone, but you're definitely welcome to do some sort of investigation or check to see.
I'll do an investigation check.
Okay.
That's a 2.
Okay.
I'm too small.
Whether it is or not, you're unsure, but you know that it's damn well bigger than you'd be able to move.
Sort of motion for Wolverax to maybe try.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
So I gave him my best, you know.
Yeah. Just. Okay. Instead of putting the sword back on, I take my spare dagger from my inventory and place it in its place.
All right. So you set your
Does that
dagger
have any effect?
upon the altar, and nothing happens. It's
Okay.
the light doesn't change. It seems to be
I
attached.
return. Yeah.
The
I
nicer-
return my dagger to my inventory and place the sword back on its altar.
All right.
Defeated.
Yeah. As soon as it
We tried.
touches
We
again,
tried.
the portal comes back to life. Boom.
Okay.
I just realised that's the only light in the room at the moment as well. So like the room would have been getting really light and really dark all the time.
It's like when you go to like the cinema or whatever and you walk out and all of a sudden it's like bright light. It almost feels like, even though it doesn't give off a lot of light, it's just so dark comparatively. You're like, blink a little bit.
Any other ideas?
I have one more idea.
Okay. I'll stay and wait.
Golem, put your arm in the portal and keep it there.
I mean, you could do a finger. You don't have to do an arm.
No, use your arm.
Oh, okay.
I can mend my arm back on, so okay.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I'll just
So,
pull
yeah,
my
you do-
arm off and see if that keeps it open.
Yeah, okay. And then I remove the sword once more.
Golem, you feel a yank and a tug. It feels very uncomfortable. Then the portal shuts, and your arm's just kind of standing out there.
Oh, that's
Okay.
sad.
And it almost
Okay.
feels like it got pushed back. Like, you almost felt like a shove. And it felt like you were being expelled from the portal itself as it was shutting.
Okay. I then return the sword back to its holder.
I'll pick my arm back up and mend it back into place where it
Oh,
belongs.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't, like, off. It just felt like it got pushed out. You know, a little stiff, maybe. Almost like when
That
you
was
jam
worth a
your
try.
finger. Yeah.
I'm very sad, but I move to leave.
All right.
As do I.
I got something out of this place at least, pointing to my
You got
backpack.
you got the armor, didn't you? Bloody hell.
And it's...
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do with the armor?
I
Are you holding
It's
it,
back-
or is it backpack?
I put it in the backpack.
All right, cool. You guys step through.
step through after Golem.
All right. As you guys slowly step through, you feel that kind of yanking sensation, that feeling, almost strange, gut-wrenching pull as you get yanked out of where you are, and you are now in the bright light of the stadium, and you can see small groups of other students kind of gathered around, and you see the hobgoblin Greelock standing there looking at you guys, glancing down at like the pocket watch he holds. And
See,
Well done.
I told you they'd be out eventually.
yes, I was a little worried when they didn't follow you directly.
We were
And
trying to figure something out.
yes, how to take
You
the
also
items and get out at the same time, huh?
Of course.
Very tempting, isn't it?
We even tried moving the altar.
That would be an interesting experiment sometime.
Are we done with this session?
He will hold out his hand, and 4 tiny diamonds will float up and disperse to each of you. And you will get a diamond worth 50 gold pieces.
Sweet. Because I'm heading to the forge with this armor.
All right. As you walk away, you feel your backpack is not as heavy as you thought it should be. And there does not appear to be armor within the backpack.
Yeah, I'm still walking to the forge anyways, even without the armor.
Fair enough. You guys are able to disperse and go about your day however you desire, as we've kind of gone longer than I was originally planning anyways. Thank you for joining us. You will find that Ryland's room is like just down the hall from your guys' current dorm at the moment. And so he's close by in the same building complex as you guys are.
Got a do not disturb sign like hung over the door handle.
Yeah.
That's the only change I've made to the room.
Nice. And all the rooms are kind of like suites, so they're set up where there's like a common area for the room, and then you would share it with 3 other people who each have their own rooms per se. So it's kind of like apartment sort of setup without a cooking area, as there's a cafeteria and such. So everyone add that diamond to your inventory. I know some of you may desire to pick up spells that utilize that diamond as well, but you will level up to level 2, so feel free to, between now and next session, make any changes and let me know what they are, and if there's anything significant your class gets for that, then we can figure out whether there is a role-playing thing that we need to add into there for the next session. And congratulations getting through this puzzle challenge and doing very well with some very high armored adversaries at such low levels, but every confidence. All right.
Yeah, as we're leaving, I'd go talk to the Forge Master and ask him, how do I stick my hand in the fire without burning myself?
And he will slowly start going through some various methods and start teaching you a spell that he has been working on. But as we're running long anyways, and I've got people who are joining us from the other side of the world from us over here and in the States. So thank you so much to all my wonderful players. Thank you for all the people that jumped in chat. I know we had Sage the Forged, and I lost it because my whole chat thing disappeared for a while. I know we've got the players here jumped in. Dave, did you see? I know there was one of your other...
Yes, Pentellus. Joined us. Sage the Forge. I do believe, I'm not too sure. Let's see here. Undead King 426.
That's Mason, yeah.
Gregor.
That's me.
Okay. And Lap Codes.
Yeah, that's one of my guys.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
Hi, lap codes.
Yeah. And
I think I saw Cyrus in here as well. He's one of my guys.
oh, cool. Well, thank you for bringing some of your people over, and those who haven't checked out Retro Firefly on Twitch.
Firefly Retro.
Firefly Retro. Damn it. Twitch.tv/Firefly Retro. Go check that out. It's a fun little coding stream. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. UK time. So early for us States people, but you know, if you're like me and work nights, it's actually can kind of work out. Thanks for everyone for joining us.